What's going on, folks, and thank you for tuning in with me to another edition of the True Capitalist Radio broadcast. And, of course, I am your host, the man they call Ghost. And once again, folks, I want to thank you very much for tuning in with me. Before we get started, I want to remind everybody this is episode number 316. Episode number, hold on. What the hell am I talking about? 313? What am I talking about here? You got it written down on the fucking... It's 613, all right? It's episode number 613. I'm sorry it's a long weekend. It was, Labor Day weekend, and, I may have partook in a little bit of alcohol consumption during the weekend, so we're a little mixed up. All right, regardless, we're back on the wagon. Everything's okay. This is episode number 613, episode number 613, for all the folks that are keeping track of the True Capitalist Radio broadcast. And before we get started on anything else, I'd like to remind everybody to please spread this show link around like wildfire, folks. All right? Spread it all over the internet and throughout the world. And let everybody know that True Capitalist Radio is in effect and in the house. And we are live every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, 6:30 p.m. Central Standard Texas Time, right here on the official website of the True Capitalist Radio broadcast. And once again, I love being independent now. Type this in your browser, add this to your bookmarks, add this to your favorites. The official website is ghost.report. All right, it's as simple as that. That's all you got to type into your browser. That's all you got to add to your bookmarks and favorites, ghost.report. And once again, folks, I want to say what's going on to the True Capitalist Radio chat room that's in the house. And by the way, if you want to be a part of the True Capitalist Radio chat room, well, this is what you got to do, okay? First and foremost, you got to follow me on my only social media representation on the internet today, and that's on Gab, folks, all right? If you don't have yourself a free Gab account, then I don't know what the hell you're doing. Like I've always said, Gab is the last bastion of freedom of speech and social media today. So get yourself a free Gab account, and once you do, follow me on there under the name Politics Ghost, all right? All one word, no underscores. Politics Ghost is the name to follow. And if you want to be a part of the True Capitalist Radio chat room, then all you got to do is this. Once you're at my Gab account at Politics Ghost, all one word, no underscores, click the subscribe button for premium content. All right, that's all you got to do. Click the subscribe button for premium content, and once you do that, folks, private message me on Gab and let me know your Discord chat name. It's that simple. All right, and I will send you a private invitation to the True Capitalist Radio broadcast chat room. And by the way, here we're going to start mailing these in the middle of the month. We are going to mail physical newsletters to folks that are actually subscribing to the True Capitalist Radio chat room. I'm talking mailed to you personally, physical newsletters from the True Capitalist Radio broadcast. How do you get one? All you got to do is just do what I just described to you. All right, go to my Gab account, Politics Ghost, click the subscribe button for premium content, and then once you do, private message me on Gab. Let me know your Discord chat name, all right? Anyway, folks, let me give some shout-outs since we're already in here. Let's give some shout-outs to some people that are listening to the True Capitalist Radio chat room. What's going on to the God of Rage, TCS, Stagio in the house. What's up, Sonny Man? Reverend Ralph in the house. Pepe the Frog, No Limit Ninja. We got Metaphor, and we got Holden Capitalist, Herb Capitalist, Hawk Late Milk, Hans Uberlander. We've got Funky Butt Lovin', Cyber Necro, and Capitalist America, and Australian Capitalist. What's going on to everybody else who's just listening in and just sitting there in the chat room? Thank you very much for tuning in with me. Folks, once again, it was a long Labor Day weekend. And I want to be honest with you, I just needed to take the Monday off. I just needed to take the Monday off. Everybody was closed. Everybody wasn't doing a damn thing. So I said, you know what? Why not? Why not? But since we've been gone, folks, a lot of things have happened. And one of the first things I want to talk about is what's been happening on Gab here recently. Now, for you folks that are unaware who don't keep up with my Gab account, I have been in an exchange with this asshole who calls himself Microchip. Now, if you're not familiar with who this idiot is, this is some stupid, dumb, imbecilic, internet loser LARPer who just, for whatever reason, thinks he's so cool because he found Twitter bots that he could buy off the internet and decide to trend his own garbage, whatever the case might be, all right? Whatever it is. Folks, this asshole now has come out and claimed that he, how can I put this, is QAnon. Now, folks, I know, as well as you know, this guy is not QAnon, but let's just say for the sake of argument, he belongs to the same group as QAnon, all right? I'm talking Microchip, all right? First and foremost, what have I told you all about this whole QAnon movement? What has it done to the right wing of the political spectrum? It has made us look like complete conspiracy theorists, off the fucking rocker idiots. I mean, that's what it has made us look like. I mean, do you understand the whole concept of QAnon, for Christ's sake? It's this idea in which some military intelligence agent, quote, tapped Trump to become president to supposedly prevent a coup d'etat, and once he won the presidency, this military intelligence agent is supposed to be telling Trump what to do. And for whatever reason, morons believed that this military intelligence agent was actually dropping pseudo, subtle, riddle-based information on fucking dumb, ridiculous, idiot forum post sites like 4chan and 8chan. Now, folks, this has made us look completely idiotic. It has made us look stupid. It has degraded the integrity of the right wing. And as far as I'm concerned, this asshole Microchip, who has always claimed that he was a pro-Trumper, who always claimed that he was on the right wing, faggots like this are more dangerous to the right wing than the open leftists that are out here openly portraying their leftism, openly portraying their liberalism, because what this asshole Microchip and many other people in the alt-right white nationalist movement as well, what they are doing is they are coercing individuals so that they can make our side on the right look idiotic, look stupid, look incompetent, look unintelligent, so that their socialism can continue to progress. Now, for you folks that are unaware, I debated this asshole Microchip on Gab, and he finally admitted, you could go back in my goddamn Gab posts, go back, he admits that he is a devout socialist. He is a follower of a French socialist of all things. All right, he is the follower of the French socialist Leon Wallace. All right? Now, or Walrus, or Walrus, or whatever the hell his stupid French name is. I don't really give a shit. All right, Leon Walrus, believe it or not, was a devout socialist who believed in the nationalization of land. And when I brought this to this idiot Microchip's attention, he then went on to say, oh, it doesn't matter what he says, but he knew what he was talking about. We need a new socialist hybrid system of general equilibrium theory with a new neoclassical synthesis so that we can redistribute our natural resources to human beings. I mean, don't you people understand that this whole goddamn right-wing celeb, white nationalist bullshit and this goddamn ridiculous alt-right nonsense is nothing more than subversive coercion? These assholes are wolves in sheep's clothing. And as I stated, folks, these sons of bitches are more dangerous to our side than the left themselves. Now, if you want my personal opinion, folks, it's going to show that we have people within our side who are trying to use us as a means of bringing us down. And if you want my opinion, at this point in time, we all on the right have to point these people out. We got to pinpoint these people and attempt to either negate these people as the shills they are, are we going to have to eliminate them one way or the other? And I don't know how else to put this. It's bad enough that we're getting so much of an onslaught of attack from the leftist head on that we have subversives like this asshole microchip and many people that are a part of the alt-right movement, many people that claim to be white nationalists. These people are not right-wing. These people, and I've said it and I'll continue to say it, they want the same thing as Antifa. They want socialism. And it's about time that us capitalists stop pussyfooting around with this whole socialist notion. We should be going right at socialism and saying, listen, socialism and communism are the same thing. They are a disease. They are a disease that relinquishes the individual from their own choices, their own decisions, their own freedoms. And that's what these morons don't understand. Because who is this magical fairy that's going to redistribute all these natural resources so that humankind can progress in some sort of utopia? Who's going to do it? It's the state! It's the state! And that's what these morons are all promoting. They want the state to take control of the means of production and redistribute them to human beings. And by God, we have seen the outcome of that model. We have seen the outcome of socialism in every facet. And it doesn't look very good, does it, folks? The most recent case, take a look at Venezuela. Take a look at Venezuela. They're starving to death out there, for Christ's sake. They ran out of natural resources. Why? Because of the central planning of the communist/socialist government of Venezuela. They didn't centrally plan accordingly, and as a result, the collective, the entire country has to suffer as a result of this. And I can't believe that we've got people out here in America, not just on the left, it's one thing coming from the left, but subversives that are on the right, that are trying to coerce through subversion. Socialism on the right. And I'm calling all you fucking right-wing wannabes, you assholes that are on the alt-right, you assholes in the white nationalist movement, you fucking people that are right-wing celeb followers, get the fuck out of the goddamn right wing. You are not right-wing, you subversive socialist faggots. And as far as I'm concerned, anyone out there who has a hair up their ass to go inflict some kind of violence on some people, I mean, if you want my personal opinion, I mean, those are prime targets right there, for Christ's sake. Subversive, coercing pieces of shit. And what are we supposed to do with this? What else are we supposed to do but cut out this shit out of our political spectrum like a cancer? You understand that? That's the only way we can do it. We gotta surgically extract it. We gotta systematically fucking just eliminate it. From our side. From the right. I'm sick and tired of these people that are claiming to be right-wing that are promoting socialism. There's nothing right-wing about socialism, damn it. Socialism is anti-right-wing. Socialism is anti-freedom. Socialism is complete and total submission to the state. That's what this is. And the only good communist and socialist is a dead communist and socialist. And that is something those of us on the right need to emphasize. We need to become dead serious about eliminating the fucking cancer out of our right-wing political spectrum. We need to highlight, spotlight, and identify these sons of bitches and eliminate them like a fucking cockroach. We cannot allow people that are claiming to be on our side to subvert people, to make us look stupid, to give fodder to the mainstream media. And that's exactly what this faggot microchip has done, claiming to be QAnon. Well, let me tell you something, microchip. Every fucking dog has its day. And I'm telling you, you think that this is all cute playing little fucking troll games and doing all this nonsense. Let me tell you something. Here real soon, you're going to find out that playing with politics is like playing with fire. And let me tell you, all those people that you fooled out there, all those QAnon folks, the people that purchased the shirts, the people that purchased the goddamn QAnon app, all that shit, they're going to come back at you, boy. They're going to come back at you. And this is what I'd like to ask also. Since we have Microchip claiming that he is QAnon, does this mean that he holds responsibility for the holy fires that happened in Southern California? I mean, does he take responsibility for that? Because lest we forget, that was a QAnon follower. Is Microchip going to be responsible for all the violence that is going to that's going to happen? It's going to fucking happen. Is Microchip going to be on the line for some of this violence that is going to happen because of the inspiration of QAnon? It's already happened. It's already happened. And look, I'm at the point now where so many people are getting away with saying violent statements, threatening people that, I mean, what? Is it okay just to say, hey, this person needs to go? I mean, give me a break. Oh. Look, I'm completely disgusted, all right? I'm completely disgusted that assholes like Microchip are a part of the right wing. We need to eliminate these fucking people like a bunch of cockroaches, like a bunch of rats, like a bunch of vermin. Fuck you, Microchip, man. I hope something very bad happens to your ass, you stupid son of a bitch. I'm telling you right now, I hope somebody targets you with their fucking autistic frustration because you are a piece of trash. You're worse than a leftist. You're a subversive piece of shit. And as far as I'm concerned, I'm not going to be crying for you if somebody happens to do you in. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm going to be celebrating. Because pieces of crap like you don't deserve to have any kind of honor. You're a subversive piece of shit. And as far as I'm concerned, I think this son of a bitch is probably, in my opinion, responsible for the holy fires of California. I mean, lest we forget that anthrax box that was put in front of the headquarters of Maxine Waters, that was signed QAnon. I'm telling you, I think Microchip should be personally responsible for all these QAnon freakouts, if you want my personal opinion. And he should be the venting of frustration when it comes to individuals that, you know, want to weed out these sons of bitches. You understand that? Well, anyway, after I was discussing this with Microchip, of course, you know, he likes to talk trash. Well, lo and behold, it looks like somebody found Microchip and who he was back in 2016. So let me go ahead and repost that for all you folks that want to know who the hell the real Microchip is. Here's a article right here by somebody who claims to have found this guy. And, you know, it's pieces of garbage like this that need to be, you know, if it's this guy. I'm not too sure if it is. But if it is, I mean, people like this need to be eliminated off the face of the planet. Fucking hate subversive pieces of garbage like this. All right? I mean, I'm not even kidding. And this asshole right now is on his gab thinking that he is so fucking great and so fucking cool. Hey, look at me. I trolled a bunch of boomers, dude. I trolled a bunch of boomers. Look at me, dude. And I'm QAnon, dude. Yeah, dude. Jesus Christ, man. I'm not even kidding around. Fucking 187 shout out to fucking Microchip. All right? 187 shout out to fucking Microchip. Fucking God, make it happen. Jesus Christ. Anyway, look, and another thing I want to talk about here, you know, getting away from this whole QAnon bit, and not to mention, once again, folks, we have to be dead serious about our politics, because we've got subversives in our realm of politics now. And we've got to find out who these people are, and we need to eliminate them. But one thing I want to talk about next is these new generations, especially on 4chan and 8chan, that are using the term wage cuck. You know? Oh, dude, you're a wage cuck, dude. You go to work every day and you clock in, and you know what? You're a wage cuck, dude. I mean, there's nothing worse I hate in the world. All right? Nothing worse I hate in the world than somebody who is making fun of somebody else for making an honest damn living. You know? And the reason I bring this up, folks, is because they found this black man, this former Cosby actor. Have you heard about this? Jeffrey Owens. He wasn't even that big of a Cosby actor, to be honest with you, but he was on the Cosby Show. And for whatever reason, much like I tell you all the time on this show, that money today, if you're making lots of money today, doesn't mean that it's going to be there tomorrow. All right? I mean, you can make bad decisions like many of the people in the inner circle have done, unfortunately, and ruin their lives. You could burn your money. You could have a lawsuit. Something bad could happen to your health. Anything can happen. That's why just because you're making money today, you got to keep making money. You've got to acquire assets that mature, that give you net worth. I mean, that includes cryptocurrency, stocks, fucking cars, property, gold, silver, artwork. I mean, assets. You have to acquire assets, for Christ's sake. Well, Jeffrey Owens, who happened to have been a Cosby Show actor, he was photographed bagging groceries at a Trader Joe's recently, and felt humiliated that this went viral, and the fact that he was in his Trader Joe's uniform and people took a couple of snapshots at him. He felt humiliated. And you want to know why he felt humiliated? Because let me tell you, that's going to be you faggots that use the term wage cuck. That's going to be you morons, because just because your stupid, dumb dish rag whore of a mother takes care of you, or whoever the hell is condoning you, doesn't mean that they're going to be around forever. And doesn't matter how much money you have today, you better sustain that shit, or you're going to end up like this poor 60-year-old bastard bagging groceries at a Trader Joe's when once upon a time you used to be an actor. You used to be something. Didn't I always tell you that, folks? Haven't I always told you that I know of many a people who used to be something? Oh, Ghost, I used to be a millionaire. I used to be a business owner. I used to make a lot of money. I used to drive a badass car. All a bunch of used tos. And why is that, folks? Because I'm telling you, the facts are the facts. Even Thomas Sowell, the economist, pointed this out when analyzing tax records from 1995 to 2005. And what he found, that a little over 10% of those that were rich or deemed the 1% in 1995, less than 10% or a little over 10% of those same people were rich in 2005. So what does that mean? That means money comes and goes. And the ability of a capitalist to do the right thing is making the right decisions so that your goddamn stack is so big that you ain't going to have to do no Trader Joe's bagging at 60 years old. You're not going to have to go out and do these types of humiliating work because you took care of yourself. You understood that, hey, I'm going to live a long time, and I sure as hell don't want to sit here and be some goddamn pathetic loser when I grow older and not be able to sustain myself. This is what happened to this poor bastard from the Cosby Show, Jeffrey Owens. I mean, he's fallen on bad times. He's making an honest living. He's getting a job wherever he can get into. You see, unlike you millennial faggots, all right, when people don't have mommy to suck the teat off from, they got to figure it out on their own, And old Jeffrey Owens over here figured out that, hey, look, I'm going to get any job I can take, for heaven's sake. You know what I mean? Trader Joe's, bagging groceries, I'll take it. I need to make a living. I need to eat. I need a roof over my head. I need clothes. But like I said, folks, this is why I keep telling each and every one of you. I tell each and every one of you that just because you're making lots of money today doesn't mean that you're going to be making all that money tomorrow. Money comes and goes, baby. It's up to you to be able to not just keep that money, but hold that money. And why do I say hold that money? Because, folks, if you don't have that fucking money in some asset that you could sell off one day, you're going to burn it like everybody else. Burning it on fucking dumb apps. Burning it on $1,000 phones. I can't believe people buy fucking $1,000 phones every goddamn 3 or 4 months. I mean, no wonder America doesn't have a fucking cent to its name anymore, for Christ's sake. You understand you're going to live a long life, for Christ's sake, man, and it's time for you to take your life serious, all right? And that goes for you assholes that left the inner circle, that made bad decisions in your lives and are deciding to go into your fucking little happy safe space and 4chan shit posting and memeing and shit. This goes for you, all right? Just because you had a half-black kid, a half-deaf kid, or whatever the fuck, you quit your job because, when no one told you to quit your job, but you quit your job to go trading or whatever the fuck you did. It doesn't matter what mistake you did. It doesn't matter what kind of life changes and lifestyle adjustments that you have to go through. You've got to do it, and there's nobody to blame but your stupid, pathetic waste of life self. And the only person that can change it is you. So I got to give props to this Cosby Show actor Jeffrey Owens. I give him much props for at least having the balls to realize that, hey, listen, I got to get work. I got to get some money, all right? I got to get work. I got to get some money. And you know what? Whoever hires me, I'm grateful that they're hiring me and paying me to do whatever it is that I do. And all of you faggots that use the term wage cuck, you should have your heads chopped off. I'm not even kidding around. I'm not fucking around. You people are a fucking waste of life. I mean, if the Fuhrer was around, you'd be in the fucking ovens, for Christ's sake. You're a waste of life. Oh, you're a wage cuck, dude. You know what? Yeah, you're a wage cuck. Yeah, well, what the fuck are you doing, huh? Well, dude, I'm playing video games because, Fortnite, I'm going to play video games for a living, man, and, I'm going to play video games on Twitch, and I'm going to make lots of money, and yeah! Fucking idiots. And you know what? We need a war. I hate to say this, we need a war. And I think we're going to have one here shortly. And we're going to talk about that later on in the broadcast. But by God, man, we need strife. We need something to happen so that these morons realize that life is not about playing video games and being cartoon fetished. And if it feels good, do it. All right? You stupid, dumb fucking heathen. And I just think it's going to take a war. I hate to say this, it's going to have to take a war. So, let's bring it on. That's why I'm glad Donald Trump is taking on the world, man. Fuck them all right? You either lay down or get down with the United States at this point, bitches. All right? And that goes for everybody. If you don't like it, then come at us, you piece of crap. We're rebuilding our military. Every damn budget that we approve, we're adding more and more billions and billions of dollars, baby. We're ready for war. All right, we're ready. Now, anyway, let me go ahead and get to the crypto markets, because I'm sure people are like, Ghost, what's going on, man? What's going on? I'm a feels bad man. I'm a feels bad man. Well, folks, let me tell you exactly why you're seeing double-digit percentage decreases across the board in cryptocurrency right now. Well, today, this morning to be precise, you had Goldman Sachs claiming that they're no longer going to pursue investing in cryptocurrencies any longer. And once that news came out, folks, what did I tell you about this fickle, pussy-whipped cryptocurrency investment community? They sell off at the whim of any kind of news, folks. And that's what's happening today. You're seeing all these double-digit percentage decreases in crypto thanks to Goldman Sachs claiming that it's going to not pursue investing into cryptocurrency. Now, if you want my personal opinion, folks, I think this is another Jamie Dimon scam. And if y'all are not familiar, Jamie Dimon in the year 2017, early 2018, said a couple of times that he thought Bitcoin was a joke and Bitcoin is ridiculous and that he would fire, quote, anybody that traded that in his company, JP Morgan. Well, guess what? Every time Jamie Dimon would say that, the goddamn market would contract. And when the market would contract, guess who was buying cryptocurrency in their European offshoot? None other than JP Morgan. To the point where it became so obvious that Jamie Dimon, the CEO of JP Morgan, finally came out and said, well, I lied. We're really investing in crypto. I'm sorry. I take it back. Crypto's a legitimate investment. I'm sorry. And I think that's exactly what this Goldman Sachs press release of them not being, them not wanting to go into the cryptocurrency markets, that is really what's weighing down the market right now, folks. All right, now, Bitcoin, let me tell you, we were on our way to seeing that major increase. We saw it as high as almost 7.4. 7.4. Let's take a look at the entire market cap of the entire cryptocurrency market. Now, folks, we have lost, I would say, a cool $25 billion in the past, I would say, 15 hours. So that just goes to show you how fickle, once again, this market is. Current market capitalization of the entire cryptocurrency market is $211 billion market capitalization. Now, let's get to Bitcoin. Once again, folks, we were waiting for that increase. You started to see it come into Bitcoin. It was up to about 7,003. We've lost a considerable amount since the contraction early this morning. Let's take a look at Bitcoin, BTC. Current market cap for Bitcoin is $117 billion market cap. The circulating supply for Bitcoin is 17.2 million in circulation. In the past 24 hours, Bitcoin has gone down 7.87%. Good God. Current price for Bitcoin is $6,784.11 per Bitcoin. Now, take a look at Ethereum. What have I told you about Ethereum, folks? Now, I don't know if y'all saw it here this past week, but when Ethereum said it was going to decrease its mining rewards in an attempt to transition from a proof of work to a proof of stake type of a coin, that it was going to cause a little bit of a contraction in Ethereum. And moreover, we had it suggested by somebody in the inner circle that we could possibly be seeing an increase right after the decrease in Ethereum on Ethereum Classic. And that's exactly what we saw up until earlier today, this morning. Now everything is down double digits, but the thing that I'm really concerned with about Ethereum is Ethereum dying right before our eyes here. Folks, we are at 52-week lows right now. We are at 52-week lows. This is the lowest point we have seen Ethereum in an entire year. Now, once again, I've always said, folks, that I don't like Ethereum for a lot of reasons. The smart contract technology is still not up to par. A lot of vulnerabilities. You've got Ethereum, once again, doing this, taking away mining rewards, transitioning to proof of stake. A lot of weird things happening. And to be completely honest with you, I think that Ethereum didn't live up to what it was supposed to be, which was supposed to be this innovation in blockchain technology. And I think there's a bunch of coins that are, kind of leaving Ethereum in the dust. Let's go ahead and take a look at Ethereum. ETH is the symbol. Market capitalization right now is $23 billion market cap. Circulating supply for Ethereum, ETH, is 101 million in circulation. In the past 24 hours, folks, Ethereum has gone down 19.05 points. 19.05%. Excuse me, not points, percent. 19 points, almost 20% down in a fucking 24-hour period, man. Take a look at Ethereum right now. Current price, ETH current price, $231.69. Ouch. Good God, man. Bitcoin Cash, folks, it also took it on the teeth. Everything's taking it on the teeth. We're having a major contraction. But once again, when you see these types of contractions, what do? You buy. You buy, you buy, you buy, you buy. And then when you see these things go up into double digits, it's up to you as a capitalist what you want to do. I mean, you want to be able to kind of offset any kind of contraction? Well, then I hate to say this because now Tether is being put and integrated into most currency exchange or cryptocurrency exchanges. It seems to me that Tether seems to be the choice for those that gain their profits and want to hold their profits. Now, Tether, for you folks that are unaware, it's USDT is the symbol. It is something, it's a cryptocurrency that never goes above like $1.04 or $1.03. So you're basically just keeping it there to keep it as a safe haven during these contractions. Now, remember, the bad part about cryptocurrency is that when you see these types of double-digit contractions, you see the same type of double-digit percentage increases. And the ability is to be able to move all this cryptocurrency around and to salvage as much liquidity that you gained as possible. And that's why I say, if you're somebody who gains, you buy low and you gain really quick within a certain short period of time, I hate to say this, but Tether seems to be the alternative at this point. I mean, it's integrated into so many cryptocurrency exchanges. I mean, it's where to go if you want to cash out profits and keep that liquid. Anyway, let's get to Bitcoin Cash, folks. BCH is the symbol. All right, Bitcoin Cash's market capitalization is $9.1 billion market cap. Circulating supply for Bitcoin Cash is 17.3 million in circulation. In the past 24 hours, Bitcoin Cash has gone down, folks. 15.49% decrease for Bitcoin Cash. Current price for Bitcoin Cash, $529.95 per Bitcoin Cash. Let's get to Litecoin. Same deal with Litecoin, folks. LTC is the symbol. Market cap is $3.3 billion in market capitalization. The circulating supply for LTC is 58 million. 58 million in circulation. In the past 24 hours, Litecoin has gone down 14.35%. Current price for Litecoin, folks, $58.11 per Litecoin. Remember all those gains in Dash? Well, they got a little bit sold off today, but don't fret. Don't fret, baby. Dash seems to be the cryptocurrency of flavor for those in South America. Not to mention, I've always suggested that it's a quick transaction time. It's a small transaction fee, very low circulation, and you're starting to see acceptance not just in South America but other parts across the globe. Now, before we move on to anything else, I do want to remind everybody that they still have mining contracts for you folks that are looking to subcontract your mining hardware. I've always suggested that genesis-mining.com is the place to go to get yourself a 2-year, 5-year mining contract. Go ahead and check out my gab right now. I just reposted it, genesis-mining.com. And in my opinion, folks, not only do I think that the Dash contract looks pretty attractive, But I'm going to talk about Monero here in a second. Those Monero contracts don't look too bad based upon a lot of reasons. A lot of things going on in the Monero world, and not to mention you're getting a lot of acceptance in Monero, specifically amongst people that want to have a, quote, secret transaction. You know, the privacy is real big, and Monero is really starting to take off with those that are concerned about privacy. So once again, check out my Gab right now, okay, genesis-mining.com. And by the way, if you're going to get yourself a mining contract, use the discount code. You got to have the discount code, baby. The discount code is WEA296. Once again, make sure to put in that discount code, baby, WEA296. Now, once again, I think the Dash contracts look very attractive. Monero contracts also are starting to look attractive. So those are the two that I'm thinking of. They're not too terribly bad, you know. And wait a minute, somebody already said that the Moneros are already all sold out. Well, no shit, I would have expected that. Oh man, well, you know, you've only got Dash, I guess, left in Genesis Dash Mining. So that's why I say you got to move on these contracts, man. I mean, they don't stick around forever. There's a finite amount of hardware for this stuff. So when they put those damn contracts up, man, make a move. Make a damn move. And let me tell you, I am still getting payments for my Ethereum contract, which, you know, whenever I get payments and I amass it, I obviously trade it off for Quantum or 42 Coin or one of my other long-term investments. But I'm still getting that from almost 2 years ago. Remember, my ending of my contract is April 2019. I purchased in April 2017. So I'm telling you, this is legit. I definitely recommend it. So I'm just trying to plant seeds out there. I'm just trying to let y'all know what's profitable. To each their own. I'm not saying everybody has to do this or has to do that. To each their own, baby. Anyway, let's take a look at Dash, D-A-S-H. Market cap for Dash is $1.4 billion market cap. Circulating supply is 8.3 million. 8.3 million in circulation. And by the way, that's a very low circulation. That's another reason why I like Dash, folks. Okay, but in the past 24 hours, all right, Dash has gone down 19.22% decrease. Okay, so all those profits we were seeing here in the past several days, people have sold off on that crap. But not to fret, man. Lest we forget that we saw Dash go as high as $1,600. So there's a lot of people holding bags out there, all right? All right, let me go ahead and get to DASH Dash. Current price, $175.19 per Dash. All right. Let's take a look at Ethereum Classic. Or no, let's take a look at Monero. My bad. We're supposed to take a look at Monero. Now, why do I like Monero? Monero, folks, for whatever reason, likes to run, and it's getting acceptance to those that are privacy oriented, that want to keep their transactions private. And it's being accepted amongst these folks. As a matter of fact, the dark web, and I hate to use this as an example, is starting to use this on a wide basis. And if the dark web is using it, that means there's some level of acceptance, etc. Now, I don't know if you saw in the past couple of days, but Monero went up and up and up. It went as high as, what, $140? Remember, folks, during the last contraction, you could have picked up Monero at like 80 and change, like $88. Anyway, let's take a look at Monero right now. All right, Monero, XMR is the symbol. Current market cap for Monero is $1.8 billion market capitalization. The circulating supply for Monero is 16.3 million in circulation. In the past 24 hours, Monero has gone down 16.26 points. Current price for Monero, XMR, current price, $115.50 per Monero. Now let's get to Ethereum Classic, folks. Now, why does Ethereum Classic look, why does it look attractive? Because because, I mean, first of all, Ethereum is, I don't know what they're doing. I don't know what's happening with Ethereum. But Ethereum and Ethereum Classic are the same damn coin. The only difference is that there is no centralization in Ethereum Classic like there is in Ethereum. You know, with Vitalik and his nerds that think they're the digital Federal Reserve of ETH. No, that's not what's happening here in Ethereum Classic. So, I mean, Ethereum Classic, as far as I'm concerned, looks nice, looks good. I'm a buyer at these levels, ETC. I'm a long-term holder on Ethereum Classic as well. I think that we've just seen the beginning and the tipping of the iceberg when it comes to Ethereum Classic. But like I said, I don't think that we're going to get maybe any higher than 40 or 50 bucks on Ethereum. That's when I'll sell, 30, 40, 50 bucks, that sort of thing. Ethereum Classic, ETC, current market cap is $1.2 billion market cap. Current circulating supply is 104 million in circulation. In the past 24 hours, we have Ethereum Classic going down 15.30%. Current price for Ethereum Classic, $11.85 per Ethereum Classic. And by the way, we had some Zcash miners in the inner circle who physically, who actually have rigs in their houses. They were not happy when the Zcash community decided that they were going to accept ASIC mining. Now, I don't want to get into the whole explanation of ASIC mining, but it was going to drain a lot of the rewards that the original miners that were mining Zcash were getting. It was going to make it non-profitable, considering, the hardware usage and the electric, etc. But what people have found is that these Zcash miners can easily mine Ethereum Classic. So for all you folks that are worried, that were Zcash miners, that are worried that you're not getting rewarded as much as you were, consider the Ethereum Classic route. I know we got a couple of people in the inner circle doing that, and congratulations to them. They're actually reaping very well doing that strategy. Speaking of Zcash, let's go ahead and take a look at Zcash. ZEC is the symbol. Current market cap for Zcash is $632 million. The circulating supply is 4.7 million. Once again, I like Zcash. It's also a privacy coin, low circulation, etc., etc. In the past 24 hours, Zcash has gone down 14.73%. Current price for Zcash, $133.65 per Zcash. Now, what have I always suggested to you in the past couple of contractions? That for whatever reason, whenever we see a contraction, we start seeing a run on what? Bitcoin Diamond. Remember that, folks? And this is no exception in this contraction. Now, I don't know why this is, but this has happened in the past 3 contractions. Every time there's been a major contraction, we've seen Bitcoin Diamond go up 100%. Now, I'm not saying it's a keeper. I say that you hold it, you wait till it gets to whatever the hell it's going to get to and get out during these phases. But I have noticed in the past 3 contractions that we have had, Bitcoin Diamond has gone up during those contractions. So it's something to keep in mind just in case, all right? Bitcoin Diamond, BCD, is the symbol. Market capitalization is $444 million in circulation, or excuse me, in market cap. I'm sorry, $444 million in market capitalization. The circulating supply for Bitcoin Diamond is 153 million in circulation. So you got a lot of circulating Bitcoin Diamond out there. But in the past 24 hours, folks, Bitcoin Diamond has gone up $117.71, or excuse me, $117, I wish, 117.71%. 117.71%, for Christ's sake, in one day during a contraction. So keep an eye on Bitcoin Diamond whenever you see contractions, folks. I'm just saying, in the past 3 contractions, we've seen this same type of activity. Current price for Bitcoin Diamond, folks, $2.89 per Bitcoin Diamond. Now, let's get to QTUM Quantum. Now, folks, man, the whole entire inner circle, the True Capitalist Radio chat room, man, has been accumulating and accumulating QTUM. Because, once again, it's a proof of stake coin. And the more you have, the more you get back in quantum when you stake your quantum. And to be honest with you, most of us understand we're waiting for this damn thing to pop off again. We're waiting very patiently. While we're doing that, we're getting stake payments, baby. And the stake payments that you get in quantum, QTUM, is a hell of a lot better than any financial instrument that some damn Wall Street bankster will give you. And that's on top of waiting for this damn thing to flurry upward in value. Now, once again, folks, the technology is the value in QTUM. And the unfortunate part about it is that most of the cryptocurrency market are buying into a bunch of hype shit coins. Haven't you noticed that, folks? Nothing but a bunch of hype, garbage, never heard of these idiot ICO garbage shit coins. And I think it's horrible because they're overlooking long-term investments that could potentially bring them real wealth if they understood how to invest properly. Now, let's take a look at quantum, folks. QTUM. Current market cap right now is $347 million. The circulating supply is 88 million in circulation. In the past 24 hours, QTUM has gone down 18.76%. Good God! Current price for quantum, folks, is a very, very dirt cheap $3.95 per quantum, baby. You understand that? And let me tell you, if you're not getting quantum right now, you're a fucking fool, all right? I mean, you could get 100 quantum for less than $300-something now, man. What are you doing? I mean, if you've got anything over 850, or see, if you have anything over 150, you could get, at least 3.5 quantum. I mean, that's better return than goddamn than keeping your fucking goddamn money in any financial instrument that the banksters or Wall Street has to offer. So anyway, $3.95. Accumulate, baby. I'm telling you, you'll be thanking me here in the next year or two. You will be thanking me. Now, I want to get to another cryptocurrency, and I want to give everybody a heads up on this one. I've actually been, and let me tell you, right when I say this, I told the inner circle to take a look at this as well. I'm talking about Coin, EMC. Now, I actually wrote an article about this coin in 2017 based upon its technology. Now, if you take a look at some of their blockchain technologies, these guys are thinking way beyond the box, just like the folks over there at Quantum are. I mean, they've got all kinds of blockchains in development aside from their cryptocurrency. They've got something called the SSL info card, in which you can put all your personal data securely protected in the Coin blockchain. So that, you have to identify yourself when you go into websites, and you gotta sign up, and you have to put your personal information out. Whatever the case might be, it can all be stored in your blockchain, man. Aside from this, they've got at least 4 different projects that are way ahead of their time, and I like the technology component mixed with the cryptocurrency aspect of this coin. Now, take a look at EMC right now, folks. All right, current market cap for EMC is $69 million market capitalization. Now, the current circulating supply is another thing I like about it, folks. Current circulating supply right now is 42 million. 42 million. That's way less than Litecoin. And lest we forget, folks, Litecoin is nothing more than an alternative to fiat. They don't have any other integrated blockchain applications to integrate with Litecoin. It's just an alternative to fiat currency. There's no smart contract. There's nothing. It's just Litecoin. And aside from that, folks, I like this coin because of, well, let's put it this way. This also has a mixture of proof of stake and proof of work. And also they have something called merged mining. Now, let me explain what happens here, okay? Now, with proof of stake, EMC, you can actually do the same thing that you're doing with quantum, and the algorithm guarantees a return of 6%. All right, 6%. Now, it also has a proof of work algorithm that allows you to generate new blocks, and it will also reward you for working if you have a mining solution as it relates to Emmer Coin. Now, what they encourage you to do is merge proof of stake with proof of work in a merged mining capacity. Combining all three of these algorithms ensures a high level of security of the blockchain and protects recorded data from any malicious actions, including man-in-the-middle and 51% type of attacks. So, in my personal opinion, man, I definitely am a buyer for the long term, especially at these prices right now. Especially at these prices right now. Now, the current market cap, once again, is $69 million market cap. Circulating supply for EMC is $42 million in circulation. Now, folks, Emmer Coin, believe it or not, and I just bought some right when it dipped down to about $1.30, I think $1.34. Okay? Bought a shitload of it here this morning. Folks, it is up today 7.12%. 7.12%. It's one of the very few coins that are up in this down market. The current price for Emmer Coin right now, EMC is the symbol, $1.65. And I like this. Now, lest we forget, folks, if you take a look at the chart, the highest price that Emmer Coin has ever been is at $10.10. Or $10.01, excuse me. And that was on January 13, 2018. If you take a look at the circulating comparison between Emmer Coin and Litecoin, and you take a look that Litecoin is near 60 million in circulation, and you take a look at Emmer Coin and it's only at 42 million in circulation, there is a lot of room of fiat growth in there. So in my opinion, this is definitely a long-term investment. I don't doubt that we will not just see $10 again, but we could see this damn thing in the $30 or $40 or $50 range. And lest we forget, folks, I'm a capitalist. So the QTUM investment covers the Asian market because it's an Asian coin. You know, QTUM is made out of Singapore. They're mostly traded out of South Korea. So, you know, it's an Asian investment. This right here, folks, believe it or not, Ruskies. You know what I mean? The Russians. And lest we forget that Russia's in a very precarious economic situation right now. And I think Vladimir Putin is going to get damn near desperate to go and do something, legalize crypto, do something, because, man, he is so in dire straits financially that he was talking about cutting pensions for old people before they went apeshit about it and thought twice. So, in my opinion, I like Emmer Coin. I've bought myself a pretty good chunk of it. And not to mention, it's very easy to mine as well, from what I understand. And you've got a proof of stake component as well. So, I'm just giving you all the heads up. EMC, I'm a buyer on this one. I just bought a shitload of it this morning. And I like it. And I like it until it goes up to another 10, 12. If it goes beyond $10, then the sky's the limit. So, I like EMC, Emmer Coin. Emmer Coin is definitely a buy, all right? Anyway, folks, we are now in the second hour of the True Capitalist Radio broadcast. And, of course, I am your host, the man they call Ghost. And once again, I want to thank everybody for tuning in with me. Before we get started on anything else, I'd like to remind everybody to please spread this show link around like wildfire and let everybody know that True Capitalist Radio is in effect and in the house, and we are live every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, 6:30 p.m. Central Standard Texas Time, right here on the official website of the True Capitalist Radio broadcast, baby. And I love being independent now. Add this to your favorites. Add this to your bookmarks. The following, ghost.report. All right, that's all you got to type in your browser. It's that simple, ghost.report. That's the official website of the True Capitalist Radio broadcast, all right? And once again, I want to say what's going on to everybody in the True Capitalist Radio chat room. What's going on, man? I see you all, baby. Anyway, I want everybody to know that my only social media representation on the internet is on Gab. So anyone else out there that is in any other social media outlet claiming to be me, it's fake and gay, all right? Fake and gay. Anyway, folks, follow me on Gab, the last bastion of freedom of speech on social media today. You can follow me on there under the name Politics Ghost, all right? All one word, no underscores. Politics Ghost is the name to follow on Gab. And by the way, if you want to be a part of the True Capitalist Radio chat room, all you've got to do is go to my Gab account right now. Go to my Gab. Check out my Gab. And click the subscribe button for premium content, all right? Click the subscribe button for premium content, and once you do, private message me on Gab and let me know your Discord chat name so I can give you a private invitation to the True Capitalist Radio chat room. It's that damn simple. And by the way, let's go ahead and give some shout-outs to people that are in the damn True Capitalist Radio chat room right now. What's going on? The God of Rage, Tesla Cyberheart, Stagio, Sunnyman, Reverend Ralph. What's going on, man? We got Pepe the Frog, No Limit Ninja, Meadowform, Jingo Bert, Insane Energy, Holden Capitalist, Herb Capitalist, Hawk Late Milk, Hans Uberlander, Funky Butt Lovin', Distillin', Cyber Necro, Capitalist America, Australian Capitalist, Aquilian. We've got Andrew Smith, Anesthetic versus 18-year-old sluts. What the hell does that mean, for Christ's sake? I don't even want to know. Anyway, what's going on to everybody in the True Capitalist Radio chat room? If you're listening and if you want to join, I will be in that chat room after this broadcast. Come on down and join, baby. Come on down and join. And hey, by the way, if you're looking for some True Capitalist Radio merch, if you're looking for some Ghost.Report merch, it's as simple as typing this in your browser, baby. If you're looking for some Russian hacker merch, it's as simple as this. Type this in your browser right now and add this to your bookmarks, add this to your favorites. The following, Ghost.Market. It's as simple as that, baby. Ghost.Market is the official website of all the merch of True Capitalist Radio and the True Capitalist Radio broadcast. So go out there, take a look at it, check it out, represent, baby! Represent! You're goddamn right. Anyway, folks, I'm going to go ahead and end the cryptocurrency coverage since we're running out of time here. Let's go ahead and get right into stocks, shall we? Now, the stocks were mixed today because, you know, let's be honest, the testimony of Jack Dorsey and Sheryl Sandberg, which is the representative of Facebook, for whatever reason, Google snubbed the congressional hearing. This put a lot of pressure in the NASDAQ, and you got a little mixed bag today in the stock market. Let's go ahead and take a look at it. Obviously, blue chips in the Dow Jones Industrial, I mean, they're doing just fine. I mean, what did I tell you? What did I tell you back in 2017? That I was bullish on anything that was in the Dow Jones Industrial in 2018. And look, the prognosticator of prognosticator continues to kick some fucking ass, if I don't say so myself. Let's go ahead and take a look at the Dow Jones Industrial. It is up today 22.51 points, a percentage increase of 0.09%. Closing out the Dow Jones Industrial at 25,974.99 points for the Dow Jones Industrial. S&P 500 slips up a little bit. It is down 8.12 points, a percentage decrease of 0.28%, closing out the S&P at 2,888.60 points for the S&P 500. Now, once again, the NASDAQ, it is taking a major slump because, the Jack Dorsey from Twitter testimony, it was just, it tanked Twitter's and Facebook and all the social media stocks out there. Jack Dorsey looked like a homeless derelict that didn't even know what the fuck he was talking about, if you want my opinion. Jesus Christ, man. And by the way, for whatever reason, the Attorney General, Jeff Sessions, after this particular testimony by these executives of the social media, he's vowing to, quote, crack down on big tech. Now, I don't know what the hell that means, because I sure as hell do not trust Jeff Sessions. He's a conniving establishment snake, and I wonder what the hell the deep state has on this son of a bitch for him to be such a conniving, gutless, spineless piece of trash, which is he's literally tearing apart his legacy like he doesn't care. Like he doesn't care. He used to be one of the respectable senators. Now everybody hates his guts because he's an establishment hack. He's an establishment hack. So we shall see what the Attorney General, Jeff Sessions, what he means by cracking down on big tech. We shall see what happens with that. Fucking slime. Anyway, once again, NASDAQ down 96.07 points. A percentage decrease of 1.19% decrease, closing out the NASDAQ at 7,995.17 points for the NASDAQ composite. Let's go ahead and take a look at commodities, shall we? Let's take a look at energy. We've got energy WTI sweet crude down today, 22 cents, a percentage decrease of 0.32%. Current price for WTI is $68.50 per barrel of WTI sweet crude. Brent crude is down 25 cents, a percentage decrease of 0.32%. Current price for Brent crude oil is $77.02 per barrel of Brent crude oil. Gasoline is down 0.42%. Natural gas is down 0.14%, and heating oil is down 0.34%. Let's go ahead and get to the metals, shall we? The metals! Let's get to the goddamn metals! We've got gold. It is up $3.60, a percentage increase of 0.30%. Closing out gold at $1,204.90 per troy ounce of gold. We've got silver. It is also up 0.32%, an increase of 5 cents, closing out silver at $14.27 per troy ounce of silver. We've got copper up today, 0.77%. We've got platinum up 0.47%. Let's go ahead and get to agriculture, shall we? Grains. Corn is up 0.34%. Wheat is up 0.24%. Oats is up 0.41%. Rough rice is up 0.46%. Soybean is up 0.27%. Soybean oil is up 0.18%. And canola is unchanged for the day. Let's go ahead and get to the softs. Cocoa is down 0.90%. Coffee, it is up 2.32% increase on the day for coffee. Sugar is up 2.35%. Orange juice is down 1.51%. Cotton is down 1.29%. We've got lumber down 1.58%. We've got rubber up 0.18%, and ethanol is down 1.97%. Let's go ahead and get to livestock, shall we? We got live cattle down today 0.75%. We've got cattle feeder down 0.23%, and lean hog, believe it or not, it is up 1.76% increase on the day. And that, my friends, is the markets for your ass. All right? Yeah, let me go ahead and let me take a sip of some cola here. The good stuff. Anyway, folks, we got a lot to talk about, so let's just go ahead and get right into the nitty-gritty of it. And let's talk about the President of the United States, the modern-day George Washington himself. I'm talking about President Donald Trump. The establishment strikes back at Donald Trump, folks. Did y'all see that this weekend? The entire establishment got together in a mass propaganda utilizing John McCain's funeral as a disguise. Did y'all see that shit? I mean, all the establishment has-beens all converged on John Turncoat, Songbird, Tokyo Rose McCain's funeral, and we're out here trying to take subtle, if not direct shots at the current president, which is anti-establishment. And let me tell you, the establishment is coming out swinging when it comes to trying to take down and degrade the integrity of Donald Trump himself. I couldn't believe the amount of establishment trash that showed up to John McCain's funeral, and guess what? The media played every second of it. I got sick of viewing it. Every fucking second of this damn procession of this damn idiot traitor's funeral we had to see. And guess who? We saw everybody up there, remember? We saw George W. up there. Hi, I'm George W. And fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, you never get fooled again. I mean, you know, he was up there doing his fucking tricks. And then guess who eulogized John Turncoat McCain's funeral? None other than Barry Soetoro himself, a.k.a. Barack Obama. He got on the podium, and look, folks, I was covering this damn election in 2008 on this broadcast, although I was broadcasting at Blog Talk Radio at the time. And if you want to check out those archives, you can easily do so by going to blogtalkradio.com/ghost, blogtalkradio.com/ghost to check those out. But, man, I was covering this, and I said, folks, there is no difference between John Turncoat McCain and Barack Obama. I was disgusted that, first of all, not only was McCain the nominee for the GOP, but that he picked that Eskimo bimbo dunce, Sarah Palin. And why do I say that, folks? Because as I stated then, and I'm going to state it now, and I've stated it a million times, the 2008 GOP convention was nothing more than the coronation of the liberals taking control of the Republican Party. And I said it back in 2008, and I'm saying it now in 2018. That's what they did. And that's why I always called John McCain John Turncoat McCain, because he was a closet fucking liberal. He was a closet liberal. And take a look at Obama's eulogy. Take a look at Obama's eulogy, for Christ's sake. What did he say about John McCain in his eulogy? I'm going to quote what he said. He said, and I quote, "We were always on the same team." Oh, Jesus Christ, for Christ's sake. What did I tell you? What did I tell each and every one of you? I told you that this stupid son of a bitch was nothing more than a goddamn liberal in Republican clothing. That's all John McCain ever was. He was a part of the establishment. He was a piece of trash, and he was a traitor! For Christ's sake, have we gone mad? This son of a bitch, he actually broadcasted propaganda for the North Viet Cong. And I'm going to keep saying it, folks. These recordings were discovered in August of 2016 in the National Archives by a researcher who found these tapes in a box marked CIA, and it was mislabeled. This asshole Tokyo Rosed his own fucking men out there in Vietnam. He's a fucking traitor. And I wrote about it on my blog, and let me tell you, since this son of a bitch has died, I've gotten tens of thousands of hits on that article alone. I'm not even kidding. And I'm glad. I'm glad everybody has to know that this establishment piece of trash was a traitor. But like I said, what did I always say about John Turncoat McCain? Closet liberal. Obama, the guy he ran against in 2008, is eulogizing his ass and saying, quote, "We were always on the same team." They're telling you. That's what makes Trump elections so revolutionary, and that's why I have changed the format of this broadcast to be 100% serious. We, those of us that aided in the election of this president in 2016, we got to double down, baby. We've got to go out and spread as much information as we possibly can through any method we possibly can, so that we can make sure that there is not a blue wave when it comes to 2018. That we don't re-elect or elect establishment trash that are going to continue to do the bidding that the establishment is trying to do, and they're trying to take down Trump, folks. They're trying to take down Trump. That's what this whole fucking John McCain funeral was all about. It was establishment propaganda. Did you hear his little chubby little fucking daughter, Meghan McCain?
Oh, America was always great. America was always great.
Oh, yeah? Really? Meghan McCain, huh? When your establishment father and his goons, when they negotiated these imbalanced trade deals that this president is trying to rectify, when they sent the means of production outside the United States through tax incentives, when they sent corporations offshore because of taxation, how was America great, fatty Meghan McCain? You fucking skank. Fucking ignorance, man. Pure ignorance. But let me tell you, this little John Turncoat McCain funeral wasn't the only piece of propaganda that they're trying to throw, folks. Have you heard about the Bob Woodward book that is supposed to be coming out about Donald Trump? You remember Bob Woodward from Woodward and Bernstein? You know, the guys that supposedly took down Richard Nixon? Bob Woodward is putting out a book attempting to make Trump look like an incompetent president. All right? Now, I want to be completely honest with you. I mean, when are these guys, Woodward and Bernstein, going to retire? I mean, haven't these guys made themselves a part of the mainstream media establishment at this point, man? I mean, lest we forget that, you know, this Watergate situation happened in the early 70s. Okay? I mean, what are these old windbags still doing here, acting as if they are the sole source of information? I mean, first of all, Bob Woodward has been shitting out books every presidency. I mean, how much money do you need, Bob Woodward? And not to mention, lest we forget, folks, that this book that Bob Woodward is putting out, it is quoting a bunch of anonymous sources, and no one is coming to the plate and saying that they were the ones quoted. As a matter of fact, everybody in the administration is denouncing this book as pure fabrication and pure lies. Now, since Bob Woodward over here, from Woodward and Bernstein, since he's out here, you know, putting out a book every time there's a new administration coming around, his partner, Carl Bernstein, have you seen this fat, disgusting, oy vey bastard? Carl Bernstein, the man that was a part of Woodward and Bernstein, has resorted to becoming a CNN hack, talking head. And every time you see Bernstein, every time you see him with his fat Jewish face, every time you see him, what do you hear him say? Oh, what Trump is doing is worse than Watergate. Oh, what Trump is doing is worse than Watergate. Well, maybe Watergate wasn't that bad. Maybe, if you want my opinion, and look, I'm gonna say this. Maybe Woodward and Bernstein had always been a part of the establishment all along. And let me explain something to you folks, okay? For you people that don't know who the hell Woodward and Bernstein are, they are the journalistic duo out of the Washington Post that ended up writing about the Watergate scandal and ended up bringing down the presidency of Richard Nixon. Now, for you folks that are unaware of what the Watergate scandal is, it's where Richard Nixon, during his presidency, got caught utilizing CIA assets. And they weren't necessarily in the CIA, but they were, they were once CIA assets, the usual suspects, E. Howard Hunt, Gordon Liddy, these hardcore CIA assets. He utilized these guys to break into the Watergate Hotel, which was, at the time, one of the main headquarters of the Democratic Party. And Richard Nixon paid these guys to infiltrate and break in to try to find files, find dirt, find something on the Democrats. Now, Bob Woodward and Carl Bernstein got a hold of this story and attempted to continue to pursue the evidence that led all the way to the presidency. Now, how the hell were they able to do this? Well, they had somebody on the, quote, inside that they called Deep Throat. That just goes to show you how fucking perverted and sick and disgusting Woodward and Bernstein were. This anonymous source, Deep Throat, was the supplier of the majority of the information that inevitably led to the resignation of Richard Nixon. Now, I don't know if y'all remember, but in 2008, Deep Throat was actually exposed. And guess who Deep Throat was, for all you folks that don't remember? None other than FBI Associate Director, which is the second highest ranking position in the FBI at that time, Mark Felt. Mark Felt, the Associate Director of the FBI, was Deep Throat, was the informant. Both Woodward and Bernstein had validated this. Once this asshole Felt was about to die, he decided that he was going to come out and pretend, it was me, I was Deep Throat, and I'm about to die now, see ya. Now, doesn't that have anybody concerned, considering that the FBI nowadays seems to be a weaponized arm of the Democratic Party? I mean, isn't it ironic that Mark Felt, the Associate Director of the FBI, was the supplier of information to Woodward and Bernstein and gave them the information to bring down a presidency? I mean, it seems as if that connection between the FBI and the Democratic Party has never disbanded. I mean, take a look at all the characters in the FBI that give a double standard of justice when it comes to this president and Hillary Clinton. Hillary Clinton, folks, broke laws beyond laws, but yet take a look at the lackadaisical approach of investigation by the FBI. But here you have Donald Trump, who was supposed to be colluding with Russia, which after 2 years of special counsel investigations by Robert Mueller and his special counsel, $25 million already spent in attempting to connect Russia with Trump. There is no Russia-Trump collusion. There's not even one shred of evidence that shows it. So what is Robert Mueller doing now? Robert Mueller is pursuing obstruction of justice. Now he's pursuing, did you pay some hooker, some sleazy 2-bit whore bag to shut her mouth because you used her body as a sexual playground? I mean, this is what Mueller is going down towards. And the damn Robert Mueller investigation needs to stop. And lest we forget, Robert Mueller was the director of the FBI. Robert Mueller was the director of the FBI. And once again, the FBI is trying to take down another president. The FBI is trying to take down another president in conjunction with elements of the Department of Justice. And where does this all trace back to, folks? It traces back to Woodward and Bernstein. and their connection with the associate FBI director, the second highest ranking FBI position at the time. You don't think that this connection ever left? I mean, this is why I keep asking you folks, why are Woodward and Bernstein still pertinent after all these years? Why do we even care about what these idiots have done? I mean, lest we forget, if we take a look at what they accomplished by bringing down Richard Nixon, they utilized the spying grid of the FBI via Mark Felt to find their story. And this is why, folks, the FBI and the DOJ, when Trump was elected president, this is why they were so confident in the fact that they could utilize their positions and utilize their investigations and all this crap in an attempt to remove Trump from office. So, in my opinion, man, I think that Woodward and Bernstein are complicit with the FBI. Always have been, always will be. All right? And in my opinion, I think that this connection with the Democrats and the FBI never disbanded after this. Never. And that's why the FBI thinks they can become kingmakers, because they've removed a president already. They helped remove Richard Nixon. So as far as I'm concerned, Bob Woodward and Carl Bernstein, go to hell to the journalistic retirement home. You fucking Ovaltine drinking, prostate infected old bags. All right, get out of here. All right? You're making your legacies or your so-called legacies look like dog shit. Get out of our faces. I mean, Bob Woodward utilizing anonymous sources and constructing a book to take down Trump. I mean, what a fucking faggot, man. I'm telling you, these guys, what a bunch of establishment hacks. That's what Woodward and Carl Bernstein are. They're establishment hacks. And, by the way, don't take anything that is being said by Bob Woodward serious, because nobody is being quoted in here. Now, aside from Woodward and Bernstein going after Trump, you also have this op-ed in the New York Times that came out here. Did y'all read about this? Some op-ed that was an anonymous New York Times article that claims they are a part of the resistance inside the White House. Have you heard about this shit? I mean, how many levels of subversion does this president have to put up with? I mean, this is completely jeopardizing the very integrity of our institutions of government. I mean, this is serious business, folks. I'm telling you, if I were the president, I would try to find out who this so-called resistance inside the White House is, if there is any, and I would try to take these people to jail. I mean, that's what should happen to that stupid black bitch, Omarosa. How come that stupid black bitch ain't in jail, for Christ's sake? She should be in prison for audio recording anyone in the White House, for Christ's sake. I mean, what kind of world are we turning into when we're accepting this types of subversive shit in our institutions of government? I mean, how long are we going to accept this crap? I'm not joking. Omarosa needs to be thrown in fucking jail for treason. How the hell this woman is walking around a free woman is beyond me, for Christ's sake. Any one of us that went into the White House recording anything, we'd be thrown in prison. Are you kidding me? My God. I'm not kidding. If I were the president, I would send investigators to the New York Times and demand who the hell this was. That was a supposed resistance member inside the White House. That's enough of this goddamn subversion. It's time to start throwing some of these people in jail for treason, or worse. Or fucking worse. But that's why I keep telling you, folks, the establishment, man, they're coming after POTUS. That's why he needs your help. That's why he needs my help. This is the only reason why I'm doing this broadcast, folks. The only reason I'm doing this broadcast is because I want what Trump set out as his Make America Great Again agenda in 2016, I want it to come to full fruition. And that's why I'm doing what I'm doing. I'm trying everything within my power to make sure I can help this man get elected and help this man get Republicans elected that will push through without any obstruction, without any obstinance. Push through his Make America Great Again strategy and his policies. But I'm going to be honest with you, folks. I'm going to be completely honest. If by some chance there's a blue wave this November 2018, then I may no longer do the broadcast. Okay? I may quit doing the broadcast. Now, I want to be honest with you. I'll still be chatting with those that are in the chat room in the inner circle. I still may be doing some articles on Ghost.Report, but, I mean, if the Democrats cause a blue wave in the midterm election in 2018, it shows that America isn't serious anymore. It shows that America has become complacent. It shows that America does not appreciate the last chance that they had been given with this president. And if America doesn't care as a whole, then why should I care? Why should I care? And I'm going to be honest with you, folks. I mean, in this 2018 midterm, if the Democrats win a overwhelmingly amount of seats, I'm going to leave because what am I going to cover? I'm going to be covering, after the November midterm elections, if there's a blue wave, I'm going to be covering the impeachment of my president. I'm going to be covering the slanderous lies and how they're going to run this president's name in the mud via this goddamn impeachment. And even if they don't get an impeachment in the last 2 years of his first term, the objective of the impeachment is to completely character assassinate the president so he is unelectable in 2020. And that's what they're going to do. And that's why I'm trying all my damnedest to do what I'm doing and hopefully inspire some of you to take this shit serious. But we shall see, folks. We shall see. I am not very optimistic. I'm going to be completely honest with you. I am not optimistic about what's going on here. I am not optimistic. I mean, take a look at America, for Christ's sake. That's why I'm encouraging, I am pleading with the president. It's time to go to war. It's time to go to war for a variety of different reasons. First of all, to show this world that America means fucking business, and we're willing to go out and kick some fucking ass if necessary. And two, I think that a lot of these unappreciative pieces of trash that aren't doing anything with their lives, folks. I mean, I hate to say this. The millennials, I mean, they're not doing anything with their lives. We're barely starting to see some Generation Xers now running for fucking shit, now trying to take control of certain institutions of power. But it's about time, Generation X. How the fuck old are you? What, 45? 47? Oh, that's great. It's about time you faggots grew up. But take a look at these millennials, folks. I think that these millennials, they need to go to war. They need to go to war. That's the only way they'll learn. They need strife. Because if you take a look at our current state of America, folks, all of our men are gone. We are left with nothing more than a bunch of degenerate, derelict losers who are doing nothing but, I mean, really nothing. I have to admit, I mean, do you know a millennial in America that's taking control of anything? No, you don't. They're just too busy being idiots, playing video games, doing stupid, ridiculous shit, making fun of boomers when the baby boomers took control of authority in their 20s. I find it funny that these fucking millennials, they try to talk shit about boomers, yet boomers, You can't compare yourself to the baby boomers. You can't compare yourself to the baby boomers. The baby boomers were self-aware at a very young age. You idiots can't even figure out what the fuck you want to do in life. I mean, half you fucking dumb millennials are still living with your fucking mom, for Christ's sake. You can't compare yourself to the boomers. The boomers make you look like fucking retarded people. The boomers were putting themselves on the line when they were 18, 19, 20 years old, and they never changed their political philosophy, even if they are a bunch of leftist faggots. And you see, this is what we're missing on the right wing, because all we have, what do we have? We have nothing but subversives. We have people that are subversively coercing the right into doing things that are leftists. You've got people that are on the alt-right, trying to be edgy, claiming to be, Nazis and Hitler and all this other shit, wanting socialism. It's fucking sick, man. Anyway, let me continue going. We got a lot of things to talk about, folks. I did want to talk about the Brett Kavanaugh confirmation hearings. I mean, folks, that just goes to show you what we're up against and the level of politic that we are now in America today. Did you all see the fiasco that began the hearing yesterday, in which all these Democrats tried to cause a ruckus because they, quote, don't have enough documents? Folks, Brett Kavanaugh has provided more documentation than the previous 5 nominees that were in front of the Senate Judiciary Committee combined. The past 5 nominees for the Supreme Court. Now, what the fucking Democrats are bitching and moaning about is 100,000 documents in which Brett Kavanaugh was working for the Bush Jr. administration as the White House staff secretary. Now, I want everyone to know that what the Democrats are trying to do is they're trying to unearth documentation in which Brett Kavanaugh had nothing to do with writing. He had nothing to do with inputting in, had nothing. He was the White House staff secretary, meaning that he got all the material, all the documents prior to giving it to the president. That's all he did. He was a paper pusher. He was like, all right, there we go. What's this? All right, give this to the president. What's this? This doesn't look that important. Why don't you give that to the vice president? I mean, that's what he was. And you see what the Democrats are asking for. They're asking for 100,000 documents that Brett Kavanaugh, came in contact with as he was White House secretary staff, or staff secretary, so that the Democrats can unearth some of the nefarious things that happened during the Bush administration. And that includes, the torture sites that have happened, and torturing Al-Qaeda, and wireless tapping, and all this stuff. All this stuff. They want to relitigate Bush Jr. because if they unearth these documents, they can claim that this is what the Republican Party is all about. And I want to be honest with you, folks, there is no need for those documents. That's why Brett Kavanaugh that's why he's calling it executive privilege. Because he didn't write any of those documents they want. He had no input into those documents. He was the White House staff secretary. He took the documents and said, okay, yeah, this is important enough for the president. Okay, let me see, what is this? All right, they send this to the fucking Department of fucking Justice here. Here, send this to the Treasury. That's what he did. That's what the White House staff secretary did. And that's what the fucking Democrats are bitching and moaning about those documents. I mean, there are no documentations that they don't have that Brett Kavanaugh didn't write or voice himself. They got it all. This is a big fucking nothing burger that the Democrats are utilizing to grandstand. And once these morons, of course, Cory Booker and that fucking stolen valor cocksucker Blumenthal, do y'all remember that asshole? This idiot claimed, Blumenthal from Connecticut, this asshole claimed that he was a Vietnam veteran when he was completely fucking lying! It was a complete fucking lie! Stolen valor! He ran on this shit. I was a Vietnam veteran when he didn't even go in the military. He had to come out and say, I'm sorry, I just misspoke. I didn't know. I'm sorry. Of course, this was before stolen valor was something that you could get arrested for. But that's Blumenthal over there. And then Kamala Harris. And, you know, your quintessential people that think that they're going to run for president for 2020. These were the people that were causing a fucking ruckus in the beginning of yesterday's testimony or questioning of Brett Kavanaugh. Now, folks, what even made it more of a fiasco is that you had more than 70 people yesterday get up in the galley, in the crowd, in the spectator area, screaming, protesting. And do you understand who put those people there? The Democrats invited those people there. The Democrats staged all this crap. They staged it. It was all coordinated, folks. That's why one of the Republicans yesterday called these assholes out and said, what was this conference call that you Democrats had in which you talked about staging all this shit? And one of the Republican congressmen was talking straight to Dick Turban Durbin, and Turban Durbin had to say, well, yeah, we had a little bit of a phone call, and you know, we had a conference call, and you know, it's just what it is. And this was all a plan. Do you understand? All those people that were causing a ruckus outside, all those people that were in the galley causing all this fucking... I mean, it was a joke. They were invited by the Democrats. That stupid, dumb, hijab-wearing, pro-terrorist Linda Sarsour was also in the galley causing a ruckus, folks. I mean, don't you understand? This is what the Democrats do. It's all political pomp. It's fake. It's phony. I mean, they're acting as if they're virtue signaling, but they're doing nothing but rabble-rousing. Oh, my God. Anyway, folks, just observing, not just yesterday, but today, too, they did the same thing. You had people that were in the audience yelling, screaming, supposedly protesting. These are all paid members of the Democratic Party. This is all planned by the Democrats. This is how these scumbags play, for heaven's sake. I mean, this is what you're going to get more of if you elect these people. And you know, there's always a double standard with Democrats, and I hate that shit. That's why I don't care. I'll call a Democrat a piece of trash. I don't care. I mean, there should be no double standard. Remember when this dumb asshole treasonous president of ours, Barack Obama, remember Barack Obama? Remember when he was having a State of the Union speech and one Republican yelled out a one word? Remember he yelled out, liar! Remember that? And everybody from those that were sitting in the State of the Union speech to every goddamn media outlet was complaining on how disrespectful and how that this Republican was breaking decorum and how dare he. Take a look at what the Democrats did during the Brett Kavanaugh confirmation hearings. Fucking double standard, man. That's why I'm telling each and every one of you that are listening, if you vote Democrat in 2018, you are anti-American trash, you're anti-American scum, and as far as I'm concerned, you should get your jaw broken. Piece of shit. Anyway, let me move on. I don't want to talk too much about the Brett Kavanaugh confirmation hearings, but once again, that's what this is all about. Democrats are causing a ruckus for nothing. They're asking for documents that have nothing to do with Brett Kavanaugh. They're asking for documents that have executive privilege during the Bush administration when Brett Kavanaugh was the White House staff secretary. And what does the White House staff secretary do? It takes all the information, all the papers, all the documents that come into the White House. He takes them and he's like, all right, let me read this. All right, this goes to the president. Go ahead and give this to the president. Well, let me see this. All right, send this to the Treasury. Here, let me see this. Here, send this to the Vice President. That's literally what he did. And that's what the Democrats are calling to declassify so that they can relitigate the whole goddamn Bush administration again, man. That's what this is all about, folks. That's what this shit is all about. Anyway, let me move on to the next subject matter. We got a lot of talk about tonight, man, so that's why I'm just going to head and just free-flowing and moving on with the next subject matter. Let me take a swig of cola first. All right. Now, folks, what we're going to talk about now is we're going to talk about the CIA data leaks that yours truly gabbed out last night. I don't know if y'all saw it, but actually I gabbed it out about 2 days ago, as a matter of fact. I gabbed it out on Monday. My apologies. It says major data dump exposes 5-Star Trust, which is the CIA fund for black operations in the secret government. And also there's a bunch of paperwork. There's, account numbers and transactions and World Bank audits and Federal Reserve transactions, all kinds of stuff. 11 gigs of very secret information. Now, the most damning information, I want to be completely honest with you folks, is showing how the CIA is truly the secret government. Now, for you folks that are unaware, these documents have basically come to light that the secret fund in which the CIA funds itself and its own secretive operations outside the framework of government is via a trust fund by the name of 5-Star Trust. Okay? 5-Star Trust. Now, this story takes a very, very weird turn, folks, because 5-Star Trust was comprised of 5 people. Okay? Now, these 5 people, folks, I'm about to name here, comprise the beginning of 5-Star Trust. It's General Edward Lansdale, who ran the CIA activities in Vietnam. William Kobe, who was to be put in total command of the blueprint operation when enacted, which is 5-Star Trust. George Bush Sr., who asked and received approval to have his top aide, Richard Armitage, to be brought on board. And the 5th guy is Lieutenant Colonel Robert Ferreira. He is a CIA top asset who at the time was assigned to the Congo and whatever the hell the Patrice Lumumba situation was. Now, why am I bringing this up? Because, folks, what we have found out in this documentation is that 5-Star Trust has over $100 trillion in assets. Now, how did they obtain that $100 trillion in assets, folks? They obtained it through... And I'm glad this is happening, because now I can expose what "in God we trust" means on your dollar bills. You know how it says, "in God we trust"? You know what that really means? It doesn't mean any kind of spiritual entity. God on the dollar, "in God we trust," it is short for G-O-D, gold, oil, and drugs. Gold, oil, and drugs is what they trust. Hence, the 5-Star Trust Fund that has $100 trillion. Now, what are these documents that were put out? What are they showing? Well, the $100 trillion was created by the international drug trade. And what we found out in these documents, that the Vietnam War was not about communism or the spread of communism or anything of that nature. No. The Vietnam War was nothing more than a CIA cover to their international drug operations. It was a complete cover to their drug operations. And aside from their international drug trade operations, they also sold gold, they also sold oil, etc. Now, you have to take into consideration, folks, Five Star Trust. It's got $100 trillion, at least $100 trillion, possibly more in it, in this account. Folks, that's more than most of the world at this point in time. I mean, in the documents, it states that Japan is owned by most of the group of the Five Star Trust. Now, I know people are asking themselves, what the hell is this supposed to mean, Ghost? What the hell am I supposed to get from this? I'm going to tell you that the secret government that truly controls everything is a CIA private collective entity. Do you understand this? And that how the hell are you going to beat this big enemy, the CIA, that's got $100 trillion in trusts and have unlimited amount of funds to be able to generate all kinds of weapons of mass destruction and death? And by the way, if y'all don't know some of these characters, I strongly advise you to look some of these people up. These people are hardcore CIA. The 5 people that created the goddamn, that created Five Star Trust. I mean, a General Edward Lansdale. I mean, this guy was hardcore CIA operative, man, back in Vietnam. William Colby was once the director of the CIA. I mean, if you take a look at the CIA testimony back in the 70s when Colby actually testified to having the heart attack gun and, you know, all these freaked out weird weapons, it was William Colby that said, yeah, you know, this is what we have to do. This is what it is. And by the way, William Colby was found murdered sometime after I think it was like in the 90s, when he started coming out and started talking a little too much. They found him in a fucking canoe, like floating down the river. There was his corpse. But what we also found out is that William Colby, believe it or not, was in charge of Operation Phoenix. Now, if you folks are not aware of Operation Phoenix, this was an operation in which the CIA, unbeknownst to the people partaking in the actual project, was directing certain Marines and other type of forces of military, training these people into being professional killers. Now, if you don't believe me, take a look at what the Phoenix group did back in Vietnam. I mean, they used to call the Phoenix group, or the Phoenix program, the kill team. I mean, that's what they did. They were brutal killers. Now, Colby created the Phoenix program at first to kill anyone who could potentially jeopardize the integrity of the Five Star Trust. And he ended up killing over 20,000 people. 2,500 of them United States citizens, accused by Colby of being collaborators, and they just vanished. So I'm just telling you, folks, that this right here is some serious fucking business. And these documents, if you want my opinion, they don't give us very much optimism, considering that you've got a CIA that is richer than our country. Our country is $21 trillion in debt. $21 trillion in debt. Meanwhile, this Five Star Trust It's got $100 trillion in it. Now, when you've got this kind of connection, you know, these 5 people, I told you about Colby being assassinated and a couple other people. Well, one of the guys who is Robert Ferreira, and believe it or not, Robert Ferreira, this guy that was one of the founders of the 5-Star Trust, this guy is such a hardcore CIA intelligence asset that when the FBI, and I've got the, here, let me go ahead and gab it out while I'm at it here. Here is a special FBI classified document here. Let me go ahead and put it out. Let me go ahead and type something in it. Classified document that was written for Ted Kennedy in 1989, highlighting the actual creation of the 5-Star Trust operation. And this is something that everybody needs to look at. They need to read. And they need to research what the hell the 5-Star Trust is. Because, man, I'm telling you, man, how are we, or anyone who is in opposition of this type of tyranny, how are we going to compete with somebody who has $100 trillion and owns most of Japan? I mean, in the paperwork that was dropped, folks, 5-Star Trust owns most of Japan. The country. The country. I mean, come on, man. I mean, wake up. I mean, I don't know what else I need to tell you guys, man, before you start realizing that, yeah, it was only 5 guys in the highest levels of government that were able to create something in which they became the strong heads. I mean, that's why the CIA is so strong. I mean, wake up, for Christ's sake. Let me go ahead and gab this here. Take a look at this. This is a classified document. Right now, this is an FBI-composed classified document for Senator Ted Kennedy, produced July 7, 1989, highlighting the entire creation of the 5-Star Trust, or the, quote, Japanese, Singapore, New Zealand, Kentucky connection. All right? Now, that's how it was created. Let me explain to you what has happened since then. Since most of the people like Colby and Lansdale and a couple other people have been killed, however they were killed, Robert Ferreira, the guy who was the top CIA asset, as a matter of fact, I want to be honest with you, Robert Ferreira, from what I understand, according to the documents, he killed Barry Seal. Remember I kept talking to you guys about Barry Seal and how he was a CIA asset that ran drugs from South America into Mena, Arkansas, and that there was a movie, a Tom Cruise movie made about him, about Barry Seal? Well, from what I understand, Robert Ferreira executed, eliminated Barry Seal. As a matter of fact, that's what Robert Ferreira did like it was nothing. Well, anyway, Robert Ferreira left his portion of the 5-Star Trust holdings to somebody by the name of Marion Horn. Now, the reason I'm bringing this up, folks, is because Marion Horn sent a letter to Obama, and I'm going to read that letter here just to show you how serious this shit is, okay? But anyway, before that, we are now in the third and final hour of the True Capitalist Radio broadcast. And of course, I am your host, the man they call Ghost. And once again, folks, I want to thank you very much for tuning in with me. Before we get started on anything else, I'd like to remind everybody to please spread this show link around like wildfire and let everybody you know across the internet and throughout the world, let them all know that True Capitalist Radio is in effect and in the house, and we are live every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, 6:30 p.m. Central Standard Texas Time, right here on the official website of the True Capitalist Radio broadcast. And I love being independent now, baby. Type this in your browser, add this to your bookmarks, add this to your favorites. The following, ghost.report. All right, that's all you got to do. That's all you got to type in your browser. That's all you've got to bookmark and add to your favorites. Ghost.report. It's as simple as that. That is the official website of the True Capitalist Radio broadcast. And once again, folks, I want to say what's going on to the True Capitalist Radio chat room. What's going on, baby? And I want to say, first and foremost, please follow me on my only social media representation on the internet today, and that's on Gab, folks. That's on Gab. You can follow me on Gab under the name Politics Ghost, all one word, no underscores, Politics Ghost. And by the way, if you want to be a part of the True Capitalist Radio chat room, it's as simple as this. Once you're on my Gab, Politics Ghost, click the subscribe button for premium content, baby. Click the subscribe button for premium content, and once you do, go ahead and private message me on Gab and let me know your Discord chat name so I can give you a private invitation to the True Capitalist Radio chat room. It's that damn simple. And by the way, we've been getting some pretty generous wishing well donations. I definitely want to say thanks to those that are out there that are throwing something into the wishing well. We recently had 9 quantum thrown at us, so we really appreciate that. Another 2 quantum thrown at us. We appreciate that. What's going on to the person that threw the Litecoin? What's going on to the person that threw all of it? All of them. Thank you all very much. I really do appreciate that, folks. This is how we're going to have to sustain ourselves here in the near future. I'm not even kidding. I mean, we are going to be exclusive to just accepting cryptocurrency as a means of sustaining right-wing broadcasts like this. So that's why I implore you, I beg you, please, if you have not bought any merch, if you haven't done anything and you just got a couple of cryptocurrency, throw it in the cryptocurrency wishing well. Believe me, man, this is the only way we're going to be able to sustain this type of content, man. They're trying to demonetize us everywhere. They're trying to ban us everywhere. Why? Because I'm merely a right-wing broadcast. That's why. There ain't no freedom of speech here. I mean, folks, I've been demonetized. I mean, from transaction companies to all this stuff. That's why I implore you, I beg you once again, all those folks that are out there listening, that appreciate this broadcast, that want to continue to sustain the continuity of this broadcast, take a look at the cryptocurrency wishing well on ghost.report and throw something in there, man. All right, and once again, everybody who threw something in there, all of your dreams will come true, because that's the way karma works, baby. That's the way karma works, all right? Anyway, now that we got all that out of the way, I want to talk about this 5-star trust letter, okay? Now, this 5-star trust letter, and I'm going to go ahead and put it out here in a minute, but it's actually written to Barack Obama the 25th of September, 2009. It says, Dear Mr. President Barack Obama, I am Clarence T. Kingery, Jr., the individual trustee and secretary to the Board of Trustees for 5-Star Trust, which is registered in Nevis, West Indies Islands. Our trust was originally registered in the Isle of Man, originally and domiciled in Nevis, West Indies. Our trust, through a trust resolution, has authorized me to give this letter to Mr. Ernest Bay of California, and has been asked to present to you our request for your assistance in helping us recover assets of 5-Star Trust and its beneficiaries that are being held in major banks in and outside of the United States in U.S. dollar account number, and it says the account number, same account at all banks, which a partial list is attached hereto for your reference. Further, there are major deposits of gold, as well as names of U.S. Mortgage Trust, Ltd., a Bahamas corporation, and a wholly owned subsidiary of Five Star Trust, as well in major banks and institutions throughout the world. I am attaching hereto a formal settlement that was done by Mr. Marion Horn through his representative, General Robert L. Ferreira, all right, and it says in parentheses, U.S. Army retired, CIA deceased, according to the U.S. Department of Justice's records, but much alive under the new name in Oslo, Norway, at the CIA Safe House compound, who arranged the settlement for Mr. Horn and his family, and also obtained an IRS exemption for that settlement, as well, which is attached hereto also. This settlement was assigned to the This settlement was assigned into the Five Star Trust, which was created in 1989 in the Isle of Man. A copy of the present trust is attached hereto, and the original trust, Robert L. Ferreira, who as the individual trustee set forth the tri-party partnership consisting of Mr. Marion Horn, the executive trustee of Five Star, Baron Guy Rothschild, head of the Rothschild family, now deceased, and Mr. Richard Helms, former director of the CIA and head of clandestine operations. General Robert L. Ferreira, reportedly deceased according to the U.S. Department of Justice records, but confirmed now living in a CIA compound in Oslo, Norway, and receiving $150,000 a day from the Five Star Trust account in Germany payment for keeping quiet. General Ferreira, who is an individual trustee of Five Star Trust and the executive trustee of U.S. Mortgage and Trust Company in the Bahamas, arranged this partnership. It was agreed that each group, Five Star Trust, would receive 1/3 of all future deposits or earning of this trust. Rothschild family would receive 1/3 of future deposits and earnings of this partnership, and Mr. Richard Helms, representing the CIA and the U.S. government, would receive 1/3 of future deposits of any and all deposits and earnings. Mr. Horn was not required to give any part of his settlement that had been agreed upon the Department of Defense and the IRS in this future partnership. Even though Mr. Horn did not wish to participate, he was told that he had no other choice. If he wanted to receive the settlement that had been agreed upon already with the Department of Defense. Five Star Trust, for acting as the front entity and to receive any and all deposits of assets or funds from clandestine sources, aka drug dealing, secured by the CIA and moved by the Rothschild banking empire, would receive 1/3 of the deposits and earnings. Rothschild will receive 1/3 for moving and depositing the assets, and the CIA for confiscating the assets would receive 1/3. The account number, here, it says it, was to be used on all accounts to be created for this partnership in all banks, and the funds and assets would be kept off ledger. Further, future assets in form of precious metals would be held in the name of Five Star Trust / U.S. Mortgage and Trust Bahamas Ltd., separately in Australian accounts. General Major Ferreira was the individual who masterminded this tri-party agreement and behind the scenes directed its operations for the, quote, New World Order to come that Bush 41 had also approved and put into motion to take place as well. Shortly thereafter, there was a disagreement between Bush 41 and his people, and General Ferreira and Rothschild, wherein Mr. Sununu had attempted to move some of the assets from the Bank of New Zealand, and other partners, Helms and Rothschild, call that he be terminated as a part of this operation as a liability, even though he was only doing what Bush 41 told him to do. General Ferreira informed Mr. Horn that there would be a problem with Bush 41 in the future and to stay away from him and any of his people. That Ferreira would take care of the future of this matter with Baron Rothschild to see that Bush 41 did what he was supposed to do. Later, Ferreira fell out of favor with Bush 41, and so did Mr. Horn, being the associate and front man for this matter that had been created by General Ferreira. Be advised that according to the U.S. Department of Justice, Robert L. Ferreira is recorded as dead but is very much alive. This can be verified and validated by asking the CIA of his existence. A deal had been agreed upon some years back between Bush 41 and Ferreira, and in turn Ferreira, would disappear and stay away from assisting Mr. Marion Horn. Bush 41 had used his influence to cause the imprisonment of Mr. Horn in Mexico and the USA both, and General Ferreira in the United States, and a death certificate in Houston, Texas for him to disappear. The deal was that Ferreira would receive a certain compensation for disappearing, which was to be paid from an FST account in Germany and Australia from other sources. Some of the documentation is attached here too regarding this matter, and also some of the people in the administration of Bush 41 and Clinton 42 and Bush 43 who have been involved in this mastermind cover-up of trillions of U.S. dollars. In 1997, Mr. Horn was approached by a representative of the U.S. government to settle again this matter, and a formal notarized agreement was concluded and signed but never finalized or materialized due to the disagreement between the U.S. agencies, the Bushes, and others on who would get what. Mr. Horn had accepted the deal with one major consideration, that these funds be used for citizens of the United States. A copy of that formal agreement is attached here too. I, Clarence T. Kingery, was present at the initial negotiations with Mr. James Georges, Mr. Warren Goss, and other parties in Atlanta, Georgia, when the first meeting happened to move toward a final settlement on the foreign assets held worldwide in Five-Star Trust Marion Horn sole signature to these accounts. General Ferreira had told Mr. Horn and others of the trust that he had fixed the deposits of these assets, that they would not be able to get them out without his signature. There is so much more that I could say in this matter, but I will close and ask you, Mr. President, use your own sources to check out what we have stated therein. Further, there are parties that are close to you who know all about these assets, and a list of these people who know about this matter that we know who is affiliated with your group are Mr. Paul Volcker, Secretary of State Robert Rubin, Mr. Larry Summers, and possibly others. However, the parties that we feel know all about these accounts and related matters are as follows. In the Bush 41 administration, President Bush, James Baker, John Sununu, Dick Cheney, Richard Armitage, CIA Director Donald Gregg, Oliver North, Chairman Alan Greenspan, and Admiral Jean Lacroix, or whatever the fuck his name is. Anyway, folks, let me go ahead and gab this out so that you all can take a look at this, what I was just reading. And this just goes to show you that I mean, this is what's going on. This is our secret government out here. I mean, even Jesse Ventura, when he won governorship of Minnesota, he was taken to a secret location in underground Washington, D.C., in which he was put in front of the so-called secret government, which comprised of supposedly the very inner workings of the Central Intelligence Agency. And what freaked out Jesse Ventura the most about this was the fact that none of these people that were in charge of this inner circle of CIA operatives, they look nothing like your quintessential CIA agent. That these people looked like regular people, and it really freaked them out. And what they asked Jesse Ventura was, how did you get elected? How did you do this? What is it that you did that we weren't looking at, etc.? So this exists. This secret government does exist, folks, and the bottom line is that how are we going to combat this? How are we going to combat this when they've got $100 trillion in a trust account? They are basically in charge of global drug distribution. They are in charge of oil distribution. I mean, I'm serious. I'm serious, for Christ's sake. So this is what we're up against, folks. This is what we're up against. And speaking of which, folks, breaking news that just came out, for Christ's sake. Embattled Deputy Attorney General Rod Rosenstein, under investigation, no longer has authority to sign FISA applications. This is out of the source with Joseph D. Genova. Joseph D. Genova. I hope that's for real, you know. I'm not even kidding. I hope that's for real, and that's not a bunch of bullshit! I'm serious. I'm serious, man. I hope that's legit, man. I hope that's legit. Anyway, folks, let's go ahead and move on to another subject matter here. I know I talked a lot about the CIA, the data leak, and how, you know, Five Star Trust is the secret account of the CIA. It's got $100 trillion in there. They basically own the country of Japan. I mean, it's a joke. That's why, in my opinion, as a capitalist, or as a group of capitalists, I'm not trying to sit here and destroy what these people have built. I mean, what the capitalists need to do is put themselves a nice sturdy chair at the table. Now, I want to be honest with you, folks. This is not impossible. I mean, lest we forget that the Rothschild family forced their way onto that table. They weren't a part of nobility. They weren't a part of the monarch system. They weren't a part of anything. They forced their way in there. Now, you know, we could all argue whether or not it was a scrupulous way of doing so, but regardless, I mean, the Rothschilds prove that you can attain world power so long as you have dedicated family members that take shit serious. And because the Rothschilds had a very good father in Amsel Rothschild, and told the five brothers that his five sons, I should say, he told his five sons that, look, you are going to open up a bank, you're going to open up a bank, and you're going to open up a bank, and you're going to open up banks in all of Europe. You're going to control this country, and you're going to control that. And they did it. Now, what created the wealth of the Rothschild family, folks, was none other than Nathan Rothschild. Now, I don't know if you've seen pictures of Nathan Rothschild, but he's a very pompous, fat cat type of capitalist. The whole fat cat capitalist comes from him. Nathan Rothschild, and I think I said this story already, but it bears repeating. He found out that Napoleon had fallen at Waterloo. And because information is a commodity, he put it out in the streets that Napoleon actually conquered Waterloo. And when it got around all over Britain that Napoleon had conquered Waterloo, everybody was scared shitless and started selling off all their assets. They went to the damn London market and started selling everything. And guess who was there to buy it at pennies on the dollar? Everything in the market at pennies on the dollar. None other than Nathan Rothschild. Nathan Rothschild bought up everything that everybody was selling, and then when the general populace of Britain found out that Napoleon actually fell at Waterloo, that's when everybody came back to the market to buy what they sold. But guess who had it all? None other than Nathan Rothschild. And that's where Nathan Rothschild made the Rothschild family. That right there. And you know the funny part about it is that Nathan didn't even use his own money. He didn't even use his own money. You know, he used some fucking Duke of the Austrian-Hungarian Empire's money. He used some Duke from the Austrian-Hungarian Empire that was in exile and that gave Rothschild the money to keep it safe. And Rothschild said, I'll take your money, I'll keep it safe, and I'll give you so much percentage on your money. I'll give you an interest percentage on your money. And Rothschild took that money, which was the life savings of this Duke from the Austrian-Hungarian Empire. He took that money and cornered the damn London market with it. And once that Duke from the Austrian-Hungarian Empire wanted his money back, I mean, Nathan Rothschild not only had his money, he also had his interest, and the guy who gave him the money was perfectly okay with it. I mean, that's how the Rothschilds forced themselves into not only just nobility, they're beyond nobility. I mean, truth be told, folks, they are in charge of the Bank of London. Truth be told, folks, truth be told, that the Rothschilds own all the central banks. Truth be told, that it was the Rothschilds that funded the industrialists of the 1800s. It was Rothschild that funded Andrew Carnegie and his steel. It was Rothschild that funded J.P. Morgan. So it was Rothschild who funded Rockefeller. So I'm just trying to tell you all the truth, baby. I'm just trying to tell the truth. That's all I'm doing. Anyway, let's move on to another subject matter, folks. Let's talk a little bit about international relations. Now, I want to talk about this. You all have known that I have said that the policy of Afghanistan and the Taliban has changed now that Donald Trump is in office. Now, what's happening, the reason that we're seeing a lot of violence in Afghanistan is because the United States is no longer taking favorites when it comes to whatever the standing government is now and the Taliban. I mean, basically, they're letting them fight it out. Because at some point, this needs to be nipped in the bud. I mean, the Taliban ain't going nowhere. All right? I mean, as long as we've been there since what, early 2001, 2002? It's 2018, we're still over there? That's why we're switching our strategy. Because what we're going to do is we, as the United States, are now taking on a new policy to integrate the Taliban with the government of Afghanistan. I mean, they have to come up with some kind of political solution. That's why you have this new approach to Afghanistan, integrating the Taliban with the Afghan government. Now, why are we doing this? Because we're going to have an open-door policy with the Taliban, and the Taliban are going to be used as our muscle, much like we used our Jihadi assets, ISIS and Al-Qaeda. Now, the reason I said this, folks, is because where do the Taliban come from? They come from Pakistan. They come from the madrasas of Pakistan. they come down and they took over Afghanistan. I mean, what does Taliban mean? Taliban means holy student. I mean, these are Muslim students that get educated in the madrasas with the Quran and come down and commit jihad and take over the country of Afghanistan, and this is who the Taliban is. Now, why do we need to have an open-door policy with the Taliban? Because, folks, this is a very good strategic point to agitate both our foes, Russia and China. And that's why I kept telling you guys, I keep telling you, China and Russia are now starting to have a Muslim problem. And it's not an accident. Because the United States is utilizing our Jihadi assets, our jihadist assets. And listen, the United States CIA and other black ops, we've been in charge of these goddamn Jihadis ever since the Afghan war with Russia. All right? I mean, it was these CIA operatives that created these people. Now we need them to kind of muscle around or jab at, with terrorism, of course, Russia and China. Now, one thing I do want to talk about. I said that China is now going away from its historical ally in times of crisis, Pakistan, and China is now gravitating towards India. And remember, I've been saying this time and time again, when China bowed down to India at the BRICS summit, and this was right after they were almost near a damn war footing over the disputed area of Bhutan. And of course, China bowed down to India because India can match them man for man in the battlefield. And lest we forget that India is a nuclear power. Lest we also forget that India is a very, very fierce fighting force. Just ask Pakistan over that disputed area of Kashmir. They'll tell you. Now, why do I bring this up? Because the Secretary of State, Pompeo, was just in Islamabad, Pakistan, visiting the Prime Minister, the newly elected Prime Minister of Pakistan, Imran Khan. Now, Imran Khan is a very interesting leader. He is somewhat hardline Muslim, but he basically got elected in Pakistan because of his celebrity. He is a former cricket player, very popular, and utilized that cricket notoriety to win the head of state position in Pakistan. Now, Secretary of State Pompeo is also accompanied by the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, General Joseph Dunford. And that's very interesting, first and foremost, that the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff accompanied Pompeo on this trip to Pakistan. Because not only did these guys meet with Khan, which is the prime minister, they also met with the foreign minister, Shah Mahmood, and they also met with the country's most powerful general, Kumar Javed Bajwa. I'm sorry if I mispronounced the name. But either way, folks, what does that say to you? I mean, you've got the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, General Joseph Dunford, accompanying Secretary of State Pompeo, and they're meeting with not only the Prime Minister, the Foreign Minister, but the General of the Armed Forces of Pakistan. Sounds to me like they're talking about some business, you know? It sounds to me that there's a reset going on with Pakistan and the United States. And I think Pakistan needs the United States again. And I want to be completely honest with you, they are also a nuclear power, folks, Pakistan. And if we have a decent relationship with Pakistan, in which, you know, they're not looking too highly upon China, or they're not really appreciative that China turned their backs on them and is going more towards India, this could be another point in which the United States can agitate both Russia and China with Islamic assets that are going to commit terrorist acts either in their home country or on their international assets. Now, with that being said, folks, now that we are having a reset with Pakistan, and this is where the Taliban comes from. The Taliban comes from Pakistan and the madrasas there. It seems to me that we, as the United States and our foreign policy, are starting to converge in what I am suggesting has been happening here for the past several weeks. We are going to utilize, the United States is going to utilize our Islamic assets on our foes all over the world. All right? And you're already starting to see it. And the fact that the Secretary of State Pompeo is visiting with the Prime Minister of Pakistan, and Pompeo's accompanied by the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, that means they're talking some serious business. And that means that if I were Russia and China, I'd watch my ass. All right? I'm not even kidding. If I was China and Russia, I'd watch my ass. I mean, we already talked about how we're starting to see Islamic terrorist attacks back in the Caucasus regions of Russia. We already see that there's a lot of reports pointing at China and the oppression of the Uyghurs in its society. And I'm not talking about white people acting black. I'm talking about the Muslim sect inside the country of China, the Uyghurs. That's what you call them. And because they're oppressing the Uyghurs and because they're now destroying mosques in China, I guarantee you that China's going to have a major Muslim problem here in the next couple of months. I guarantee it. And this is our policy. This is how the United States is going to somewhat subjugate Russia and China. And I'm looking forward to it, as a matter of fact. I'm looking forward to it. So, once again, and guess what? Where is Pompeo going after Pakistan? Where is he going? India. That's right. And you know what? Pompeo, he's going into India, and he's taking General Mattis with him. I'm talking the Secretary of Defense, Mattis. Now, why are they going to India? Because they want to sell them some product, some war product. And we want to have a very friendly relationship with India because I want to be honest with you, India, they're fierce historical fighters. They are the people that literally convinced Alexander the Great to turn back and go back to Macedonia. I mean, they're historical fierce fighters, man. You know what I mean? So that's why everybody's trying to make nice with India, even China. And I don't blame them. I sincere. I know a lot of you are like, are you kidding me, Ghost? These Pajeets are fierce fighters? What are you talking about? They are. They're fierce fighters, man. They're worse than Muslims, believe it or not. I mean, why don't you read the depiction of Bactria and the further eastern civilizations, which is now known as India? Why don't you listen to the accounts by Alexander the Great's men? I mean, they talk about how they called them elephant monsters, that these fucking Indians would ride elephants and use elephants in warfare, and that these fucking people would lay down their lives and die by the thousands for their crazy gods, etc. I mean, they're fierce fighters. I mean, ask Pakistan. Pakistan has already lost 2 wars against fucking India, and they're pissed about it. So, India's some fierce fighters, man, regardless if they are Pajeets. I don't know what you're talking about. I am it. How are you doing? I know I can talk like this, but let me tell you, we are fierce fighters. We are fierce fighters. We don't kick your ass. So, I'm just saying, it's the truth. It's the truth. Anyway, let me move on to another subject matter, folks. Did you all hear that the communists have set fire to the 200-year-old National Museum of Brazil? Have you heard about this? Now, I want to be honest with you, folks. Have you been on Gab recently? You've got a lot of Brazilians getting on Gab, and the reason is they're trying to use any communication necessary to warn the world or to ask the world for help that the communists are infiltrating the Brazilian country. The communists are literally taking over by force. I mean, right now, Brazil is a fucking war zone right now. I mean, it is a war zone. I'm not even kidding, man. I mean, you know, I hear people are getting shot. It's literally damn near destabilized at this point. And I think it's rather sad. I think it's rather sad because, you know, it was a military junta that had to set Brazil straight. You remember? I mean, y'all remember in the 90s and you know, they had this military junta, and that the military junta, I mean, made Brazil energy independent by utilizing sugar, ethanol, and I mean, they were actually a fledgling decent economy until the military junta transferred over the leadership position to the civilian government. And then when the civilian government took over, it was fucking business and corruption and criminality as usual, man. Corruption, criminality as usual. Remember that one fucking broad that from Brazil, Rousseff was her name, right? Was her name? Rousseff? Yeah, Rousseff, whatever her name is. Y'all remember that stupid broad? She took over the country and completely ran it into the fucking ground. Yeah, Dilma Vana Rousseff. I mean, this was a broad that got the country of Brazil and turned it into complete and utter crap. But, you know, hey, you know, if women ruled the world, there'd be no wars. If women ruled everything, everybody live in peace, right? Oh, that fucking bullshit. Anyway, the reason I'm bringing this up, folks, is because, man, Brazil has a lot of people. It's a big population. It's not the richest country in the world. And there's a big problem over there. As a matter of fact, there's a lot of big problems all over South America, and people should be a little concerned. Aside from the Venezuela destabilization, there's destabilization in Guatemala. There is a potential civil war in Nicaragua. Now you've got, you know, this potential destabilization in Brazil. I mean, this is starting to look a little bit like what happened in the Middle East. And the Middle East had all these damn millions and millions of refugees, and guess what? They went right into Europe. This looks like what they're trying to set up. When I mean they, I'm talking about the powers that be. They're trying to set this up so that everyone that's in these countries that want to get the hell out, where are they going to go? They're going to go north. They're going to try to enter in the United States. They're going to try to come in here illegally, etc. It's going to be a big fucking problem. Now, what I'd like to do is I'd like to call on any Brazilians that are listening to the sound of my voice and start killing communists out there. I mean, listen, I want to be honest with you. They're already out there on the street. I'm talking communists, and killing innocent people, robbing people. It's a fucking jungle out there. I'm not even kidding. It is horrible. I mean, you've got Brazilian people not just infesting Gab, trying to ask people help and trying to give people an insight on what the hell kind of garbage that they're having to put up with out there in Brazil. But, folks, I've seen on Fox News YouTube simulcasts in the chat room section people from Brazil claiming, help, we need your help. There's a communist takeover in Brazil. Help. I mean, I'm talking hundreds of Brazilians will flood the goddamn chat room begging for help. And why? They're having a communist takeover in Brazil. If you don't believe me, ask any of the Brazilians that are on Gab. They'll tell you. And guess who were the culprits behind this big-time museum fire? Let me tell you, 200 years of museum curation down the tubes. The National Museum of Brazil, one of the oldest museums in this part of the world, for Christ's sake. Now, why would the communists burn it down? Because, folks, that's what communists want to do. They want to erase the past. They want to eliminate spirituality. And they want the state to be the focal point, to be the energy focus of every human being. They want the state to be the God. That's why an adherent to communism is that you are godless. Because there's two reasons for that. One reason obviously forces you to submit to the state as your demigod. And two, if you don't believe in God, then you have no rights. Because as our forefathers wrote, you are accorded those rights in the Bill of Rights based upon your Creator, based upon God. Because that's what the monarchs tried to preach, remember? The monarchs would claim that they had divine right to rule because God said it was okay, because these religious men anointed us to do so. It's the same thing. If you are godless, then you are not accorded any natural God-given rights. If you don't believe in any kind of spirituality, you are not accorded what the Bill of Rights says that you're accorded to because you're godless. So, once again, folks, communists set fire, and listen, this is a cultural revolution that's happening right now. All right, this is a cultural revolution that's happening right now in Brazil, and I'm calling on Brazilians, if you want to combat this influx of violent communism and prevent it from taking over, well, then you guys are going to have to go out there and kill communists. I hate to say it there, Brazilians, but, I mean, you can cry for help all you want to, but you got to go out there and start killing communists. By any means necessary. I'm not even kidding. That's the only way that you're going to remedy this, you know? That's the only way you're going to remedy this shit. So, I'm just saying, man. I'm just saying, that's the only way you're going to remedy this stuff. And, trying to call other people to help you, that's not the right strategy to go, man. You got to go out there. If you want your country, Brazil, go out there and take it from these goddamn communists and slice their fucking throats. Who gives a crap, man? And you know what? When you kill a communist, it's not like killing a person, because communists are subhuman. They're pieces of garbage. So you'll actually be doing your goddamn country a favor out there, Brazil. So by all means, instead of going and talking about help me and help us, go out there and kill these communists, all right? Remember, Brazil, a good communist is a dead communist, all right? Look, the communists are already moving on your culture. You don't think that this damn museum fire was a significance in erasing your culture? It's another thing that's an adherent to communism. There is no culture. There's nothing. There's just the dictatorship of the proletariat. That's it. And you can read all about it in the Communist Manifesto. Anyway, let me move on, folks. Speaking of on the brink, let's talk a little bit about Iran. Did you hear about Iran, man? They're in dire straits, man. As the supreme leader, the Ayatollah acknowledges that diapers and other goods have disappeared from store shelves. They are currently having a major fiat currency crash, folks. 150 reals, I guess that's how you pronounce the fiat currency of Iran. 150,000 reals to $1. Jesus Christ, man. It's getting so bad in Iran that civil unrest, like all out, just people going nuts in the street and flipping out. That could happen at any time, folks. That's why you have the Ayatollah going against his own government. As a matter of fact, I talked about it in past shows that the Ayatollah was trying to throw his own government under the bus, claiming that it was their fiscal irresponsibility that caused the financial crisis that Iran is currently going through. Now, let's be honest, the reason that Iran is currently going through this major crisis is because of the hardcore sanctions that the United States has put on Iran. And the president knew how to deal with this. Our last president, what did he do to try to remedy the Iranian situation? He tried to pay him off. He tried to pay him off. So this is what I'm saying, folks. I mean, you know, Iran is in a very desperate situation right now, and I don't know how the hell they're going to get out of it. I mean, give me a break. And look, somebody just posted here in the chat room that crypto mining accepted as an industry by the Iranian authorities. I'm sure they are. I mean, when you've got 150,000 rials, Iranian rials to $1 US, I mean, that's a pretty bad fiat currency there, Iran. You got to do something, boy. And you know what they could easily do? They could go to the negotiation table with Trump, and they could tell us what the fuck they have on the EU and the Obama administration for them to submit to the type of nuclear deal that they did. Lest we forget, it was over 260 billion, whatever the hell it was, and they gave the Iranians 1.5 billion in cold hard fiat cash. And they brought it in in a couple of planes. Why? Why would Obama do that, man? Why would Obama do that, for Christ's sake, unless he's trying to pay the Iranians off? And that's why I keep saying, man, I know the Iranians have to have something on the Obama administration and have to have something on the EU. So I'm trying to say that the Iranians better either try to be a little humble, which is hard for you fuckers to do, I'm sure. But if you want to sustain any kind of continuity of your goddamn government, then meet with Trump and tell Trump what the fuck you got on these pieces of crap. But if not, you're in a very precarious situation, Iran, and I think that civil unrest is highly likely. And you know something? You know what Iran's solution is? They're now putting a deadline on the EU. Now, lest we forget that the EU has always said that they want to continue this nuke deal with Iran. I don't know why, but they do. Well, the Iranians have finally told the Europeans either shit or get off the pot. Shit or get off the pot, EU. They have given the EU a deadline of November 5th to offset the U.S. sanctions. And if the EU isn't going to offset the U.S. sanctions, well, then I don't know what the hell Iran's going to do. I don't know what kind of ultimatum that they're giving the EU with the November 5th deadline. I don't know. I mean, what does Iran have? What does Iran have over the EU and the Obama administration? I want to know. I mean, lest we forget, folks, in 2009, I was the only one broadcasting at the time demanding somebody help the 2009 Iranian Revolution. I was on the broadcast screaming about it. And guess what? Obama didn't do a goddamn thing. Nobody did a thing. Nobody did a thing for the uprising in Iran in 2009. Nobody did a goddamn thing. And guess what? Had they did it, they probably would have been able to curb this fucking Arab Spring garbage. Remember the Arab Spring? Oh, it's the Arab Spring. Oh, my God. And you know what? Guess who was all promoting, who was funding, who was aiding that Arab Spring? None other than Barack Obama himself. Lest we forget, he turned his back on Mubarak in Egypt. And who did they bring in the first time? The Muslim Brotherhood and Mohammed Morsi as the fucking president. And guess what? The Obama administration actually legitimately talked and funded the Muslim Brotherhood in Egypt. And by the way, folks, that's why you'll never see Obama in Egypt in his life, because there is an arrest warrant for Barack Obama in Egypt for causing this ridiculous uprising during the Arab Spring. Now, thank God there was a general within the military-industrial complex of Egypt to finally say, hey, wait a minute. We're not having this Islamic extremist bullshit in charge of our government. And General Sisi took the fucking military and physically removed Kebab. Physically removed the Muslim Brotherhood from Parliament. Arrested Mohammed Morsi. And the rest is history. I mean, General Sisi is still in charge of Egypt to this day. And why did General Sisi remove Mohammed Morsi? Because the intelligence agencies of Egypt intercepted a phone call with then President Mohammed Morsi of Egypt with Omar Zakawi. Zakawi, you know who I'm talking about, right? The guy with the dot on his head, the old man that used to kick it with fucking Osama bin Laden all the time. Zakawi. Mohammed Morsi actually phone called this asshole. Now, lest we forget, Zakawi is actually Egyptian. You know, the old man that's the right-hand man from Osama bin Laden. Remember that? Well, Zakawi, believe it or not, actually participated in the assassination of Omar Sadat, which was the head of state of Egypt back in the late 70s. Now, why in the hell did Omar Sadat get assassinated? Because Sadat was attempting to make peace with Israel. And as a result, Zakawi and many other of his Islamic extremists assassinated Sadat. And believe it or not, that should have been the end of Zakawi, but Zakawi, for whatever reason, he was in jail for, 5-10 years. They let him out, and look, he became more emboldened and more Yehudi and more jihadist. I mean, I can't believe it. I can't believe it, for Christ's sake. First of all, I can't believe this guy's still alive. And secondly, I can't believe that the Barack Obama administration allowed the Muslim Brotherhood to take control of Egypt. What was another country that they overthrew during the so-called Arab Spring? Libya. Muammar Gaddafi's Libya. And lest we forget that Egypt under Mubarak was a secular fucking nation, all right? Lest we forget that Libya was a secular government. I mean, Muammar Gaddafi was a socialist, man. Now, I'm not pro-socialist at all. But this was a guy that truly loved his country, that when he took it over, he purposely put himself and his family, his dying parents, out in the desert in tents and would not leave until every Libyan had a roof over their head. Everybody who was a Libyan citizen got free health care. Libyan citizens got a cut of the oil that Libya sold in the world market in the mail every month. I mean, believe it or not, folks, Muammar Gaddafi, under his tutelage, gave his people everything they wanted. That's why they loved him. The unfortunate part about it is that because there was no war for so long in Libya, that the Libyans became complacent, and it was very easy to send in Al-Qaeda CIA operatives under the influence of weird narcotics into Libya and single-handedly take it over just by overwhelming force. And the people of Libya, they were scared to partake in protecting Muammar Gaddafi because they'd been living under comfortable socialism for the past 30 to 40 years. I mean, you have to understand, they didn't have any strife. They all had a chicken in every pot. They all had a roof over their head. They all had health care. They were living in some little utopia over there, and once danger came their way, they didn't know what to do. And that's why Al-Qaeda and all these other Yehudi fighters overtook Libya and overthrew Gaddafi. And take a look at Libya today. Take a look at Libya today. It is a fucking war zone. As a matter of fact, right when Muammar Gaddafi was overthrown, I tweeted when I had my fucking Twitter account before faggot-ass Jack Dorsey kicked me off for life for the second time. I tweeted that the flag that went up right after Muammar Gaddafi was overthrown was none other than the Al-Qaeda flag. Jesus Christ. And look at what I'm just telling you, Obama and his foreign policy created the situation that we see in the Middle East, created the refugee situation, created the destabilization in the Middle East. And if you want my opinion, I'm starting to see that look a lot similar in South America right now. But I'm digressing, of course. Anyway, folks, that's about it at this point, man. It's a Wednesday edition of the True Capitalist Radio broadcast. I will be back this Friday, Baller Friday, of course, day after tomorrow, and I'll be live once again 6:30 p.m. Central Standard Texas Time. And I hope that you're here with me, man. Let everybody know about the broadcast, because if you're listening to the sound of my voice, you're listening to the political underground on the internet, for Christ's sake. That's why we were the first ones to get banned. That's why we were the ones to get demonetized. They don't want what's being said on this broadcast to be amplified, because then people will get enlightened. Then people will start to know something and may do something about it. But that remains to be seen. I'll tell you that right goddamn now. That remains to be seen, all right? Anyway, folks, once again, thank you all for listening. And by the way, I'm going to be in the True Capitalist Radio chat room here in about 20 or 30 minutes. So if you want to come on down and chat with us, if you want to partake in the chat room, come on down. All right, go to my Gab account right now, Politics Ghost, all one word, no underscores, Politics Ghost, and click the subscribe button for premium content, all right? Click the subscribe button for premium content, and once you do, private message me on Gab and let me know your Discord chat name, and I will give you a private invitation to the True Capitalist Radio chat room. It's that damn simple. So come on down, baby. Come on down. And by the way, later this month we are going to be mailing out a physical newsletter to everyone who has subscribed to the premium content on Politics Ghost on Gab. I mean, I'm not even kidding. A physical newsletter. So if you want to partake in that, then what are you doing? What are you waiting for? Go right now to my Gab account right now, Politics Ghost, and click the subscribe button for premium content, baby. Click the subscribe button for premium content, and once you do, private message me on Gab, baby, and I'll give you a private invitation to the True Capitalist Radio chat room. It's that damn simple. And by the way, if you have not done so, please go ahead and add to your bookmarks and add to your favorites the True Capitalist Radio merch website, the Ghost.Report merch website, the Remove Kebab Russian Hackers merch website. All you've got to do is type in the following and add to your bookmarks, add to your favorites, Ghost.Market. That's it. Ghost.Market. That's it. And hook it up with all kinds of merch. We got all kinds of Remove Kebab merch, fucking Russian Hackers merch, Ghost.Report merch. Hook it up, baby. Throw some threads on, baby. If you're out there in the colleges, and go get some threads from Ghost.Market and start swaggering down the goddamn quad of your son of a bitch in school. All right? Hook it up, Ghost.Market. That's where you're going to go get the badass, political, dangerous garb. All right? And one more again, I implore you, I beg you, please, if you do appreciate the content of True Capitalist Radio, and you want it to get better, you want it to expand, etc., take a look at the cryptocurrency wishing well at Ghost.Report. Take a look at the cryptocurrency wishing well, throw something in there and make a wish. And your wildest dreams will come true, and at the same time you'll be supporting the True Capitalist Radio broadcast. Remember, this is going to be the only method in which broadcasts like this, political right-wing underground broadcasts like this, are going to continue to sustain themselves because it seems that we're too dangerous. We're too dangerous for YouTube. We're too dangerous for Twatter. We're too dangerous for Gumroad. We're too dangerous for all this shit. So once again, if you want to sustain the continuity of this broadcast, take a look at the cryptocurrency wishing well and hook it up, baby. You understand? Hook it up, all right? Anyway, I'm getting the hell out of here. All right, I'll be in the chat room here in about 20 or 30 minutes. Come on down if you want to chat with us. All right, until Friday, this Baller Friday, 6:30 p.m. Central Standard Time, I want to thank you for tuning in with me. This is September 5th, 2018. This is episode number 613. And I want to thank you all very much for tuning in with me, all right? Anyway, folks, thank you very much. I'm getting the hell out of here. Long live the capitalist army, and death to feminism, death to socialism, and death to communism. I'm out of here. You better be here with me for Baller Friday, baby. I got something special lined up for Baller Friday. You better be here, 6:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. I'm out of here, baby. Until then, you better be here for Baller Friday, baby. I'm out of here. Woo!